Friday Night Live with your host, your brother Methos, and the Free, and recently escaped from the basement, Hoodies. And now for the card rig of the show, welcome to the Cross and Fizz. We are freaking live! Forget to unmute, guys. Unmute.
You're right. You don't tell me what to do. I live my own life how I want. Live by my own rules.
What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Methos.
I am Freak.
I am a rebel. Rebel without cause.
Our brother Atlas here is, you guys have heard us talk about him many times on the show. You may have even seen some of our older battle report videos from 7th edition. Constant staple on the show has been Brother Atlas and his Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
For a little while, it was also his Tau and a little bit his Death Guard, but mostly his Imperial Guard, and that's why we got him on the show today.
You never heard of me on the show whenever I was playing my Tau because y'all avoided me.
What?
You forgot about that.
What? Play what?
Said they never would have heard about me whenever I was playing Tau because both of y'all avoided me at that
I don't
point,
know.
right?
It's like I can't. He's really kind of staticky. I really can't hear him too well. All I heard was playing my, and that was it. Blanked out.
Ow.
Can you hear me now?
No, he was just doing a bit.
Oh, okay.
Ow.
Switching speakers.
You know, T-A-U. Ow.
Hey, that's better.
What? Now he's cutting out. What? I'm sorry. You.
Oh man, even though I don't normally play against the Tau, because you're you and you always have the best games,
Right?
I've gotten my butt kicked by your Tau a few times, quite sure.
Imperial
Yeah.
Fist Ow.
Imperial Tau. There you go.
Imperial Fist Ow.
Oh my god.
That's real quick.
Superfly, check it in. What up, baby?
What's happening?
Doug, good to see you, brother. Gents, we are
Marine.
gonna do an after show hobby hangout. If you just want to join us, feel free. Tao must have been watching the wrong show. That's okay. He's cleansed his sins since then.
Oh man.
They were not pure Tau. They were the Guevasa, I think they're called, right? The
Yeah, the human version
humans
of Tau.
who joined the Tau. So,
Quesadillas? Is that what you're saying? Some quesadillas?
Oh man.
Just go in the kitchen and make your dang quesadilla.
But yeah, they were cool. I enjoyed a lot of your human to Tau conversions. Oh, but tonight we got so much goodness to talk about. I didn't even I've collected a few pictures for Art of the Week this week, but so much news has come out about the Guard this week. I didn't even bother putting them together for the show today because there's just so much news today. I think we're going to be busy for a hot minute.
Yeah, for sure.
But Freak, did you want me to send any of those pictures from yesterday or any of those clips or anything?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, if you don't want to talk about the game, we don't have to.
I don't care. I'm fine. I mean, I've already kind of, made my peace that.
He's pretty much said, I moved on. Your old news.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial Fist, they're done. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that.
Before we even talk about the game, let's we'll
just pork chop it, baby.
So,
I had
Atlas,
lunch today.
my brother, we haven't had you on the show in quite some time, brother. And I know that you've had a bit of awesomeness going on with your Imperial Guard. What kind of hobby news you got, brother? What you got for a poke chop?
And hobby news. Y'all are much more up to date than I am.
I mean, any hobby projects you had on the go. And recently, since, you haven't been on the show in a year, recently could be very, very loose.
Yeah. So, honestly, most of my hobby stuff has been casting stuff, making my own models. Which
Nice.
I know I sent some over to for the Methos, the tanks and whatnot.
Dude, those look so good, by the way. I was like, holy crap. I was holding them. The neighbor was getting kind of spicy, so I almost chucked that at him
Yeah,
and
you
killed
were.
him. But, yeah.
Man, you probably could chunk those things and
Those
they still
things-
wouldn't break.
those
Those are
things
solid, man.
Oh,
things are
and,
heavy.
I mean, but whatever's on the receiving end of them would break.
Oh, man. That thing's just crazy. Good
Other than
stuff,
that,
man.
not a lot as far as the hobby updates go. I only printed off a new model, which was really cool, and I think you've shown that on here before. The other company commander.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I ever showed her after she was fully painted. Let me grab her real quick.
Which I was super happy about that one. She has been,
I completely forgot about that one, if I'm being honest.
dude, it looked amazing, man. Thank you so much. I don't know if I've actually got the chance to tell you that in person, but
You good?
thank
You
you.
good, baby?
'Cause
Don't
it looks
let his head get big, man. Just don't do that. I
Hey,
mean,
my
he's
head is
just...
already big. It can't get any bigger. What you talking
So-
about?
These are Hero Forge models. This was the first one. And she's got kind of a static pose going on. And she's got her weapons holstered. And he wanted a more dynamic and more WYSIWYG, so he went back to Hero Forge and redesigned her with her power fist and her plasma. And this little power fist here has punched out dreadnoughts, Space Marine captains. What else has it brought down? I know she's got a pretty decent kill count.
It's killed Custodes. It's killed what's the flyer of the White Scars? The plane.
Oh, the Xiphon Interceptor.
It took on the Xiphon Interceptor.
Wow.
It's punched out the Orcs heavy roller, whatever that's
Not my
called.
custodies.
Oh yeah, the Bone Breaker. Yeah.
God, it's taken out. She's taken out a lot of stuff, man. That was the reason she earned it. She earned an upgrade. Company commander's done some work in Astra Militarum. Especially Catachan gives it that +1 strength, and then the power fist just doubling it.
Mm-hmm.
Strength 8 on a freaking guardsman is just unexpected.
Yeah.
But dude, it's amazing.
You're amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
She didn't punch the flyer. She overcharged her
Yeah.
plasma pistol and shot it out of the sky.
Honestly, most of it's been with the plasma pistol. She did
But-
take down did she take down the dreadnought with a
The
The
Leviathan
fist?
Dreadnought.
Yeah, the
she punched
Leviathan
through the
Dreadnought.
face.
And then she immediately punched that one and ran at another one with a Gatling cannon and got shot to pieces. But it was still
Yeah.
epic.
18 shots on Overwatch wasn't looking good for her.
The board was becoming scarce at that point.
It was pretty awesome though.
I
it
can
was a great game.
definitely relate. Board scarcity.
Yeah, the only time she's ran completely away is Oni's Custodes, man. I think she was the only thing left on the board. She didn't die.
Because I
But-
completely forgot about her.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah, no longer a threat. Let's move on.
Literally. It's just like overcharging plasma. Boom! Oh, invuln save. Yeah, plasma means nothing to it.
Are you guys getting bit by mosquitoes? Am I the only one?
No, man, you need to go work your biceps some more. Feeling that rain.
Man.
Gillian, good
Those
to see you,
Custodes
buddy.
are awesome. Those freaking Custodes are amazing.
They're ridiculous.
I need to get my custodies together.
Let me mute my stuff because it's like
I thought you said you were gonna have a game with them. Was it this week or last week?
We were going to have a small point game, but it turned out to be the same week as D&D, and so I couldn't do both.
Yeah, that was the one where if you lost.
Also, I didn't want you taking my custodies away.
One would say this counts as an automatic loss since it didn't happen.
No. It was just prioritization of D&D. That's all it was.
Okay. Okay, guy.
Okay, my guy. Hey, it looks like at some point today, I ordered a Manticore a few months ago. Looks like one of them finally got delivered.
Nice.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
I have to go up to the front office tomorrow. What about you, Oni, my brother?
I have had a busy week. Very, very busy. So I woke up, had some breakfast. Oh, hobby related.
The basement for a reason.
Yeah. I gotta keep everybody up to date with my stuff, So I put together some more of my Kingdom Death models. The sexy models, I decided to play a couple of started to play Kingdom Death solo campaign.
That's a thing?
It's interesting. Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah,
Oh.
it's interesting. It's
How'd you do?
interesting. I haven't had a single death.
Oh.
I've only been able to get 2 games in. Yesterday was the second game.
No, you see, he cut the dead weight from his team. So.
Yeah, pretty much. We were sandbagging his ass.
I mean, I wasn't trying to say it, but came out of Methos' mouth, He said it.
Wow.
The shoe fits,
Oh, so now we have shoes? Okay, got it. Oh, man.
But no, so while playing it solo, I learned a little bit more of the mechanics. So that way, whenever we play, we're playing it correctly.
As opposed to not correctly.
As opposed to not playing correctly and getting our asses handed to us.
Oh, makes sense.
I mean, we'll still get our asses handed to us, but
But this time we'll get our asses handed to us correctly.
Correct.
That's good. That's good.
Did that. I painted Freak's Black Templars their faces. Got his stamp of approval.
It looks so good.
Did that. I put the base coat down for my orc models for October, for our little painting competition we have going on.
I should start on that.
You have what? So 14,
Almost
17 days.
I was about to say
17 days?
about 2 weeks exactly.
You have 2 weeks. You got this.
And and let's be honest, I know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint orc models tonight, but tomorrow when the front office opens up, I'm gonna get that Manticore. I'm gonna get that Manticore from the front office. They'll be like, "Ooh, an Imperial Guard missile tank." Ooh,
like, ooh, new toy.
I'm so ADD, guys.
Nah, I did that. Tried the slap chop method. I didn't like it. You guys liked it, but I didn't.
Yeah, we're like, "Oh man, good job. That looks good." Ah, this looks like shit. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's like, nah, it looks like ass. Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I still don't like it. It hasn't grown on me. Since Tuesday, it hasn't grown on me. But I'm stuck with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't really played any games, like video games. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You've kind of been off them lately, huh?
I've been really trying to limit my activities this week since I'm on call. I didn't really want to focus too much time on one thing.
That's
and
fair.
then I get a call and I have to stop what I'm doing.
That's the part that sucks the most.
Just to help them out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm on the phone like, what you want?
What you
Yeah,
want?
playing. What you want?
There you go. If I need to check my email.
That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Oh, and printed out my D&D character.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
And
still haven't
then,
gotten a backstory.
hey, you'll get it. Don't rush me.
Poor Lily's brain has been kind of fried from school
done.
this week. So she a couple of nights she worked until almost 9 o'clock, and I was like, well, we can work on your D&D character another night. I didn't want to get her while she was like all, you know.
Yeah, I
stressed
still
out
need to
from
do
school.
that. Need to get my.
I forgot D&D counted as hobby updates.
Yeah. The whole thing, man. Everything's hobby.
Oh yeah, I
That's what
often
I've been
talk
doing
about.
hobby-wise lately.
Oh
I've
yeah,
been
why
making
don't you unroll that? Show everybody.
sneak peek.
Oh sweet.
Oh wow.
Holy crap.
This is the map we're going to be playing with,
That
Oh,
is
man.
awesome.
and we've weathered it. Make it look older.
That is so
Would scare the
cool.
crap out of me.
Hey, I don't want to brush your bubble, but there's a rip on the map.
There is.
You just, I don't want to brush your bubble.
Dude, we have been printing up like I've been writing pages for it. I think I'm up to like 39 pages or something like that.
Oh wow.
Oh man, writing your own modules basically.
Yeah, working on it.
Pretty.
That-
I had a
cool.
lot of time laying in bed, so.
Yeah, damn.
And then just the weathering of all this stuff scared the crap out of me, because this one stupid copy was, I think, $39.99 or something like that for a piece of paper. And I was like, oh my god, and I'm pouring tea all over it.
Wow.
But I think it turned out great.
It looks great, dude.
Look,
And if those who don't know wonder why Atlas has spent so much time in bed lately, poor guy had abdominal surgery recently.
Yeah. That
Although,
sucked.
seemed to heal well. He's already back to work. So
Yep. Back to it. Did you show us your print, Oni?
oh yeah, you also have Freaks print.
so I printed mine out. I don't know where it's at right now.
It's fair.
I set it down somewhere. Just don't remember where. It'll turn up. I have a lot of models everywhere.
I can
But-
understand that. Oh my god, if I had a 3D printer.
Jeez. This is freaks.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's my paladin.
So yesterday I posted up pictures of all the paladin STLs that I have. The freak was like, "Oh, I like this one." 2 minutes later,
Like, here, this one?
this
Like,
one. It's like the TV magic. You know, whenever you're watching those cookie shows, they're like, and here we put all the ingredients together. We'll just put it in the oven. And here's one already made. And
That's
this is what it's supposed to look like.
That's freaking awesome.
Free replies back, because how did you get that? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
like,
Just
damn.
let it happen.
Yep. So true.
Yeah, I'm actually really hyped about our in-person game.
I am so hyped.
Yeah, I just got to get my character set up. It'll be a fun thing. Are we using the same? Are we using the same D&D version?
Yes.
Okay.
It's still 5th edition.
Okay.
I'm really happy that Atlas gave me a call. Was it 2 weeks ago? We were on that call for like 3 hours. Him,
I don't think it was that long, was it?
yeah,
It was.
yeah.
Wow.
I
Did
was
you,
trying to
on that
help you,
call
okay?
We got on that call at 7:30.
Oh my god!
And we got off that call at 10:30, 10:45 around there.
Doing what? Did he? Was it a 900 number? What the hell?
Hey man,
No,
you weren't part
you-
of that call.
1-800 need a buddy. All right,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
You know how it goes, brother. Sometimes you just need to call up your boyo and say, "What you doing?
Oh my god!
No, he helped me create my character.
What you
So the
thinking
way I call him
about?"
is like, "Hey Alice, I hate to really do this to you, but I have to go. I have to go bad."
Oh man!
Hey, but it's done.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I give the D&D breakdown of every single thing that's probably irrelevant. But man,
It helped me pick out what I wanted.
if I feel like if I don't explain something and it comes up later, then it's my fault. So I gotta tell you everything about it.
Oh yeah, and he's really, really good about that too. It's like if there was a piece of information when y'all were discussing, well, at least previously, that when we were discussing something, if something didn't come up during the explanation and a decision goes awry because there wasn't enough information, or even if there was the possibility of not enough information, he's really good at being able to go like, okay, this should have been explained a little better. So, this is, and he usually is, the kind to give the benefit of the doubt, or, help work things out, in a way that doesn't screw you over too badly. Obviously, he still needs to help push the story along, but if it very seldom comes down to, you not having enough information and you make a decision that's like, well, I just got screwed for no reason.
Unless you play Custodes, in which case you don't get any leniency.
Oh shit, I play Custodes now.
Don't ask me to picture anything else out anymore. Your printed privileges have been revoked. But no, that's my pork chop.
Sweet. Ricalicioso. What have you done lately, you handsome lad?
Well, so I been playing a little bit of a couple of different computer games. Of course, was doing Generation Zero. Take a little break from it, and I saw Brother James was playing a game that I've had for a long time that Oni started on, and then of course he got bored with it and never came back to it. So I got bored with it, which was Vulcanoid. Great game. Nice.
I never got bored of it. It's just we never got back to playing it.
Well, you said you told me you got bored.
No.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
never seen you back on it again.
I mean, it's kind of. I find it boring playing it by myself.
Yeah, exactly right. That's why I was like,
it was fun. It was fun when we played together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun. So he started playing it, and dude, they've changed so much since we last played. I was like, oh my god, everything is. It's been updated, so now there's it looks a little more dynamic. It's been a lot more fun. They did a good job with adding additional quests to it teaches you to do stuff to get your drill up and running faster. Which I thought
what it
cool.
was? Around that same time we started playing Borderlands 3, so we kind of shifted our attention to that. Yeah, it was around that same time.
So we started playing that, and the Marines got into it too. So we actually played a little bit with. That's a fun game. It's very steampunkish, It's a very it's a chill game. Aside from that, I've been working on this October project for Methos. Trying to get this Joker running. This damn Crumb.
It's a Mecha Dread.
Mecha freaking Dread. Yeah, this Joker is enormous. That's what she said. And this thing, well, I was trying to get the legs glued together. They have sockets and everything would fit perfectly. The problem is because of the weight of the hull, I just couldn't get it. That's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm pinning it now. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. This bad boy. I'm driving the hole right in his crotch there. So anyway, so that's kind of.
You might have to like use some thicker to pin it since it's such a chunky boy.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna use something decent. I just want to be able to hold on to both sides. So anyway, so that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Because I was showing Methos earlier. So when I was trying to glue it or hold it together, it slipped, and one of the legs with the hip just came came flying right off, went straight to the ground, and that thing just shattered. It's like here it is.
He took it and threw it to the ground.
I mean, it was like, oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. I can reprint that. Luckily, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Aside from that, yeah, I mean, I haven't been doing a whole lot. Aside from that, I'm just trying to. I'm looking at teaching my grandson to play drums. I got him his own electric set. So he's really, really excited about that. So I'll be teaching him on Sundays. Oh, there it goes. So he's excited about playing and learning from Pop. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Finished the song earlier this week.
That sounds awesome.
So
sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, I've got to make some changes though, because there's just something I'm not crazy about. But yeah, that is. Let me think if there's anything else that I can think of. I actually ordered a 30-inch curve monitor because I want to start playing stuff like that game that you and I used to play, Oni, Star Trek Command or something like that. And
the VR one.
The VR, yeah. And
speaking of VR, I might have to replace mine.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It overheats.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I tried. Oh, you know what? I haven't really tried it with any other games, but it overheats with that PokerStars VR game.
What is it?
PokerStars.
PokerStars.
I play with my buddies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That could be it. Yeah. So there's one game that I really this one game I really love, man. That I've played it. It's so good. I played it in VR. It's called Elite Dangerous. Oh my god. So I have what? What are you looking at me? Don't do that shit. The thing is, so when I first started playing it, you have the controls, and of course I had the flight simulator controls stuff. So I had the rudders, but instead of the yoke, I had to use the Thrustmaster, the
That's
stick.
The spaceship one, right?
Yes. And I didn't realize that it was VR, so I actually hooked it up VR. Oh man, it's so insane. It's like you're actually so submerged in that thing. And you can look around as you're, moving your, all your controls. You see the controls move in VR, and it's just really, really cool. So I'd like to get that a go again. They've really made some updates on that. So, but yeah, it's gonna be nice because it's gonna be it's a wide wraparound type. So really, really stoked them. So we'll see. And then Methos, I'll probably give you this super large one here. This monitor, it's a 4K. The large one I have here. Let me in fact show you this one here. That one.
That would be badass.
Yeah, this one is freaking enormous, dude. But I don't have a use for it. I'm gonna use the one that I'm the smaller one that has a higher refresh rate. I'm gonna put that over here, and then we'll go ahead and give you that one. So give you a little more oomph.
That would be amazing
because your monitors are like that. They'll be cute when they grow up. But yeah. So that's I think that's pretty much it. I think that's what I got going on for the pork chop scenario.
Superfly, have a great night, my brother. And X Gear Commander, my man. Happy freaking Friday, baby. Good to see you, man. For myself, I started on some.
Well, actually, before you start on your pork
Okay.
chop, I just want to say I'm very proud of you. You didn't interrupt me once while I did.
Oh God.
I'm super happy.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, that happened, didn't it?
He didn't interrupt me once.
He did not, man. It's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night.
I appreciate you, brother.
Preach, big preach.
Man, last week you said that's my pork chop. You put a stamp on the end. Telling you. All right, so this week I started on
He's triggered.
some D&D orc models. Well, I guess that one technically is a troll. And they got an orc, 2 orc axemen, and 1 orc archer. Doop. You're not going to zoom, are you?
That's actually really cool.
Can you send a picture of those in the chat on Tuesday when we were doing our hobby night?
Yes. So I'm just putting down some metallics now. And then there's 3 goblins, 1 sword and board, 1 spear,
God.
and 1 bow.
Oni, when you come in Saturday, you're bringing the instructions, right? The assembling for my horse heresy stuff.
Yes.
Don't forget, please. That looks good. Hey, I saw that stuff, man. Methos putting together, bro. God Lord. I tell you, the pictures don't do it justice, man. I saw his Imperial Guard tanks.
Dude, his tanks look so freaking cool.
They look
Thank you, gents.
sick.
Your green
Hey,
pops like
Dude,
insanely.
they really do. They look so damn good. And the rust, oh my god, dude, the freaking rust level is like, bro,
Man,
tetanus holiness.
I am a convert, man. That dirty down rust stuff
Damn.
is the shiznit.
Well, it is for sure, man. It definitely.
Like I popped the orange out a little bit more with riser rust, but for the most part, that's just streaking grime to make it look dirty, and then dirty down to make it rusty, and that's it. Like
That's
I
good,
saved
man.
thank you. I saved so much time weathering than like when I first did my orcs, and it used to take me a long freaking ass time to do all my weathering because it was like, I used to do a lot of steps to my weathering. I would put down a black undercoat and then like a rusty, like dark brown color, like muddy brown color, and then a bit of a reddish color, then an orangey color, and then go with like a translucent silver over the top, and then use some matte varnish to tie the layers together. And when it would take that silver and when you matte down the shininess of it, that translucent quality would pop in. It'd be a little see-through. And so you'd see all the rust from underneath, which, was a nice look. I like my orcs, but man, when it's just like 3 steps now with my Imperial Guard, that dirty down saves me so much time.
It looks really good, man.
You've knocked them out really fast.
Thank you. That's why I'm excited. Like, as soon as the office opens up in the morning tomorrow, like, I'm gonna go get that manicore and just start painting up because tanks. You get an airbrush involved, and those tanks paint up fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Speaking of which,
I'm the exception to that rule. Give me a tank, I'll take 3 weeks to finish it.
I'm the same way, man. I'm not a fast. I mean, I can get the base coat down and everything, but the details, it's like, okay, yep. That's gonna take me a
Like,
while.
talk to me, baby. Where you want to go?
Right.
Where do you want to go? Maybe that's why I'm not good at painting. My paints just don't talk to me that way. Where do you want to go? To someone else.
then one wow. Dude, Your tanks look awesome, and you do the stencil work on them.
I
Like-
don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna have to, with your permission, I want to actually feature your tanks on the show sometime. Like, I love how you've got like the cross stencils on your basilisk and stuff like that.
I don't mind, but just how many viewers you want to lose, and that's fine.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen the show? Dude, we lose
Please.
viewers just coming on the show.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, we're like,
I mean,
all right, we lost another sub. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, that was our show.
last week, I don't know, we were like 2 minutes in the show already talking about Chippendales.
Yep. Then we lost a sub right then and there. Like, all right, that's about right.
Chippendales is why I come, man. Come for that Chippendales info.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
No,
Uh,
I definitely don't mind, brother.
They are sick looking tanks. Thank you, brother. Thank you. We definitely got to showcase them.
But yeah.
Also, our TikTok channel and our YouTube shorts, people seem to like some of the tanks that we've shown off so far. So
Yeah.
I think we get those awesome looking desert tanks of yours in
It'll be
there.
amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
And I don't mean like amazing, like, you know, when you know, like the precursor to Freak getting tased, you know, getting that mace right in the eyes.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Get on your
you get used to it, you know. It's like
Well, last time they skipped the mace altogether and just went straight to the taser.
no up. Bitch, did you just? Oh my god!
You can't
I'm
jump
telling
straight
you, tonight is just not my night. Freaking drill bit broke
to... Oh no.
right in his crotch.
I guess that's a pork chop we could talk about.
Oh dang it!
Drilling someone's
been-
crotch.
Luckily, I've got another one this size. But Jesus, man, god dang it!
It's not been Freak Sweet hobby wise. We had a bit of a game yesterday.
Yeah, you want to call it that?
Hey, it was a good exchange up until that last round, and then
Dude, we only got to turn 3.
no, we got to the top of turn 4. I killed one guardsman. You killed 2 orcs. Those mega knobs. That was turn 4. Of course, you had like started packing up and giving up.
Dude, I had like 2 units left.
I'm just saying, we were technically in turn 4.
Yeah.
Like turn 4 existed. But yeah, as tends to happen with, you know, when you get into the back line of a castle, that the end of that game kind of folded in a little bit. So this was, I think, one of our biggest games. I think it's our second 1750 game this year. So it's one of our larger games for 9th edition. Now, we used to play regularly in 7th and sometimes 8th. Even bigger games, 1800 was the average back then. But,
Yeah.
or 7th edition was 1800. I think 8th edition is where we got the number 1850 from.
Mm-hmm.
Or that might be reversed, actually. 7th, 1750, 1800. Yeah, 1800. It's 8th edition. Mini War Mutt!
Yeah, I'd still like to get together, you know, and play some games where we can do doubles,
Oh, like
doubles tournaments.
Yeah, kind of like we did with 40K and barbecue.
that was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
That orc has metal junk now. Very astute of you, Brother Thomas. Uh-oh. My knee bumped into my desk and something fell.
Why you calling them names, bro?
Oh, it's tape measure. Hopefully it's okay. It's my metal Harbor Freight tape measure, so hopefully it's okay. But yeah, it's you can see he's got the
Clap?
he does not have the clap.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know what he does in his free time, but he's got the iron briefs you can see there, so I had to paint in the iron briefs.
Briefs are important. We call them briefs. I don't know what he calls them.
You know, he's got to protect his wah, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I finished all the Black Templar symbols on your models.
Ah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So,
Dude, they're coming out really good.
I sent 2 pictures.
You see?
While we're kind of at a stopping point, I want to take the opportunity to wish Killian a happy birthday. His birthday is this Sunday.
Ah,
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
No.
That's awesome.
Happy birthday
You want to show off those
Hey.
Templars on screen? Freakles?
to you. Hey, happy birthday. Let's see. That's the game that sucked ass. Oh, there you are. Yeah.
That's the game. That's like that.
Let's see. Let me
Just nonchalantly said it.
So we don't have to show any of the clips. No need to relive trauma, but we could show some of the beautiful army shots at the beginning if you like. And they can
He's like, we don't have to show the clips, but we're going to show them anyways.
yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah.
There are still.
We're not gonna show the trauma, so
No,
we're gonna roll clip.
No, there are still pictures of the armies. They're 2 really well painted and lovely armies, you know.
And this is Freak getting his ass blown up by orc.
I just meant the stills. We don't have to.
This has been your PSA.
We don't have to show any of the battle report stuff. All you have to do is talk about pole dancing. Is that how we lose Submarine?
I don't know. I mean, I figured
Freaking
that's how we
really
got our
like-
stuff.
It's okay. Freaking Methos just really like Disney chipmunks. That's right.
Oh hell yeah! Nothing wrong with that.
God.
He says, "Thank you. You are welcome, my little friend."
Are you talking to? Never mind.
I'm talking to Killian.
Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't call him little friend. He calls him little buddy.
Oh,
That's the other
I'm
thing.
trying to
little
learn
buddy.
here. I'm learning. So anyway, the freaking skin work, dude, is so cool. It actually looks so damn realistic. It's such a good job. Love the damn skin work.
That skin is looking great.
So hot. Come in hot. Love it.
It's only 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate you. Oh,
Flip. That's all I did.
oh
I just
my
went-
goodness.
Flip.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting here staring at our screen, and I'm like, what are they looking at? I don't see anything but.
Oh yeah, there's a delay.
You're crazy.
I love that skin tone, Freak. My God.
See, I'm part of the group now. I'm contributing to the conversation.
So here's some of the pictures. We actually went back, a little old school and played some of the tactical objective decks from 7th edition. It was good for nostalgia, and I really enjoyed playing them. But I definitely felt I could feel why they changed that, because sometimes the draw is just one-sided in the draw.
Oh no, tell him because that's how my luck started changing. So why don't you tell him what you drew?
No.
So, well, first let's start with what you drew so they can see the comparison.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you even get?
No, I didn't take pictures.
Oh, you
of our
did?
decks.
So he's saying that he could see why they went away with it while he was winning.
But exactly, like you know, sometimes when people are winning, they're like, they should have never gotten rid of this, you know. But I can actually say I felt it because he drew 2 objectives on my side of the field, and I don't remember what the third one was, but it was something also not very
something completely unrelated. Yeah, no way.
And I drew 1 objective.
Oh,
in the
flyer!
midfield.
Something about the flyer. If I shot down a flyer, I'd get bonus point or whatever.
Oh, you know, if it was never achievable, you could have redrawn, but it's neither here nor there now.
I redrew everything.
But yeah, and so I drew 1 in the midfield, 1 for holding 3 objectives, and like I didn't score any first turn. It was like 1 for midfield, 1 and 1 on his side of the field. Second turn comes around, I discard the 1 on his side of the field. I managed to score the 1 in the midfield, holding 3, and I drew into 1 that I was already sitting on with like 20 orcs.
So that was lucky.
That was a lucky draw. The next turn after that, so, you know, I spent all 3 that turn, and so I got to draw a full another 3 the next turn. I didn't even bother telling him because I drew hold the line, have at least 3 units in my deployment zone, 1 that I was already sitting on top of, and then the 1 on his side of the field that I'd already Kingslayer, and that was the 1 on his side of the field that I'd already captured. And so I had gone into his territory, was already sitting on that objective. And then the third turn, I drew Kingslayer right after our warlords killed each other. So it was just like I kept drawing stuff that I already had. Like, stuff
that he would have gotten points for.
Yeah, it was definitely, the objectives were definitely in my favor.
Like, I already have you. I don't need you.
Mm-hmm. I draw this. Oh, that's an automatic point. I draw this. Oh, another automatic point.
No, because he got into the objectives already. Once he drew the cards, or he was already on those objectives, or
I already got the point for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, I mean, yeah.
They were just like very lucky draws. But let's look at this gorgeous yellow battle line here, guys.
Beautiful. Didn't last long, but it's beautiful.
I've heard that before.
Oh, that's Karen. I remember that's Karen.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Sakaran. Yeah, you blew the Sakaran on the first turn. Yeah, you remember it too.
Oh, the hurricane. Exciting at first and ends in disaster.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can see my White Scars flyer there. He had accidentally forgotten to pack his Storm Talon, so I let him use my Stormhawk.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really want to shoot at this thing. All right, attack it anyways.
Like, but Freak is borrowing. Let me shoot at it anyways.
That is my green tide over there. It's funny because, like, looking at it now, it looks like a lot of orcs, but at the time I was like, oh yeah, I usually have more bodies. But I brought both my Beast Snag on Beast Saur boss or Squigosaur and Gaz, and both of them are like pretty expensive warlords, and so I had fewer bodies than usual, but it was still quite a lot of boys.
Yeah, we played a 1750 game. It was very hefty.
Chonky. Also not featured on the table is I had 5 Mega Knobs in the truck there, and in the Bonebreaker was another 10 orcs with a Power Claw upgrade. So beefy. And I had upgraded the Bonebreaker to have the red roller because you guys know I love my Bonebreaker, and extra attacks with the Bonebreaker is
that the big old truck looking thing?
Yeah. It's so it's scary looking.
I like these kind of close-up shots of the battle line too. Huh. I don't know how I didn't notice the other day that the Eradicators aren't based yet.
No, I know. Yeah, they didn't really get. Well, they did. They did take down.
Oh yeah.
What did they take down? I'm trying to remember. Eradicators. What was that?
They
Hold on. Let me look at the pics and remind me. It was
they were out of range the first turn.
right, and then turn
The second
two,
turn, they would have exploded the bone breaker,
right,
but I made 4 feel no pains and it
Feel no
managed
pain.
to live.
right, which was horse crap. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We were like, I was like, oh no, 4. It was like, how many wounds do I need to kill
Oh
it?
my god. Dude,
And
I was so excited. I was like, okay, this thing's going down. Yeah. Woo! And he goes, wait.
I still have a field no
I have feel no pains. And so he rolled each damn one, and he just
Did he look at you like last time?
No, he didn't. But the funny thing about it is, so he rolled 4 of them, right? I think it was 5 that he needed, or 3 and he needed to roll, and one of them did not make it. So I'm going to spend a CP point, and he looks at me. I'm like, oh, come on. And he rolls a 5, makes it. It's like, you son of a bitch. I cannot believe it. I was done, dude. It's like, oh, wow. I shot all that.
I still remember the first day that I went to go get my first massage. He looked you dead in the eye when he rolled the 2 wound dice rolls. Looked you dead in the eye. All you see was,
Dude. And the thing is, I tried to do that with him. I would do that to him. Look in the eye, and I roll a 1.
He's like, I'm gonna spend a command point, and he looks me dead in the eye, and
one
he
again.
rolls.
And I get a 1. It happened several times.
He's
Several
like,
times.
why? He's
that
like, why
night.
is this my superpower?
Dude, I was like, this is horse crap. I cannot believe.
Hey,
I look
Freak,
at
it
you
makes
in
you
the
feel
eye,
any better?
and I get 1.
Same thing happened to me, so it was against me.
It's true.
Rolled the 1. He's like, I'm gonna spend the CP. I was like, don't do it.
Oh, my
Don't do it.
God. Dude,
That
I
actually-
was so
That actually
pissed.
happened to me yesterday too. I get D6 damage with the mech guns, and I was like, I had finally rolled a wound on his dreadnought, and I rolled it, and it was like after all of that, 1 damage.
Oh.
And Atlas and I were just talking the other day about how bad it feels when you last cannon and you finally get a last cannon through, and you get 1 damage out of it.
Oh, it sucks, man.
And so I quickly ran over to my CP, and I'm like, no, I'm spending for this.
Yo,
And
he
says,
did. He
"Don't
was
do
like,
it."
he's
Don't.
like, oh, it's like for me, it's like, I'm going to spend this CP.
And he's telling me, don't you do it. Don't you do it. You don't want to do that. And I was like, I spend it. And I grabbed the dice and I chucked it in the dice tray, and it spun and spun and spun, and then boop into a 1. I was like, oh, you're right. I didn't want to do that.
Hey, so maybe next time you should listen to us when we say don't do it.
Maybe.
Assy son of a bitch.
That was fun though. Gaz did so much work.
Yes,
he
he did.
tanked so much damage.
Do that guy.
That big ass claw where he slaps for 4 damage a pop is really good too. His reroll ones.
Once we get our game in, once we get our game ready, I'll play your orcs with my baton.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh,
Makari actually got a legendary kill. Sakaran is so tough in.
Wait. Makari destroyed a tank.
That's the Makari killed.
I don't want to talk about it.
Not just a tank. The Sakaran is one of the tankiest tanks. It's a 2-up save.
How
With
does
armor
I don't want to talk about it.
Makari destroy a tank?
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. You can talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
So the Sakaran is one of the beefiest tanks with that 2-up save plus armor of contempt. It's just like you're just chucking firepower at it, and it just barely loses wounds, right? Darklight, my brother, what up, baby? Good to see you, Darklight. Oh, I need to add that to my pork chop. I got a painting session with Darklight Dreamer this week.
Didn't he paint an Eldar?
Yeah, we're painting some
Yeah.
together. Boop. All right. So Makari has a lucky knife, and when he stabs with it, all you have to do is hit. And if you roll if you have any sixes to hit, it's D3. It's a D3 mortal wounds. Well, Gaz's ability doesn't lets nearby Goths re-roll all hits, not misses, all hits, all hit rolls. And so I used I threw the 3 dice with Makari to stab the Sicard, because Gaz had already made his attacks and dropped the Scar into 1 wound, just 1. But he's like, it lives, it gets to go on and deal damage 1 more turn. I was like, wait, I got a lucky knife. And so I stabbed it 3 times with Makari's knife. I had 2 hits and a miss, but because of the wording on Gaz's ability, I re-rolled all 3 fishing for 6s. And I got 1 6 through, and so he got the stab for D3 mortal wounds. It was awesome. And so
one of us, yeah, I was.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, it was so it was so legendary for a goblin to stab a Sikaran to death.
Moffrey, you gotta admit that's pretty funny.
I mean, you guys think having an Imperial Guard punch a tank to death is one thing. A goblin. Okay, I'm gonna drop it.
Of all freaking things, of all things, of all dog-eared things to destroy my damn tank, freaking goblin with a knife. A freaking goblin with a damn knife.
A very lucky knife.
A freaking goblin with a knife.
Not just any goblin.
I was like,
Makari.
why am I even here? By then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm checking out. I'm gonna check out. I'm checking out.
He was mentally checked out after. That was the first casualty for the Imperial Fist, but it was definitely, I think, a little demoralizing to have your biggest, tankiest vehicle stabbed by a goblin.
I'm asking the question is, wait, what? How many rolls? And not lobster rolls. You re-rolled. Oh, okay. Re-rolls to hit. Yeah, I should start packing soon.
Darklight said, "Did the goblin get stuck in the treads?"
Man, I don't know what kind of freaking goblin that was.
He's Makari, the luckiest goblin.
Give that gobbo promotion. Sorry, sis, we already ate it. Yeah, good spirits.
And
Hellchild says that gobbler whacked it with his banner stick. Whack.
Freaking did whatever he did, man. He nuked my damn. I don't even know how the hell. I was like, you freaking serious? You just destroyed my damn tank with a freaking goblin. Okay, well, I can see where this game's going.
Hellwork says, "Oh, go ahead."
No.
Hellwork says, "Darklight painted again? Oh man, GW will release the lion now."
Dude, it was so nice to actually see. I saw that video or that picture you posted, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's in our group chat right now. If you'd like to share it.
Yeah, it absolutely warmed my freaking heart to see.
So good
to see him painting again, and just at his own level, at his own skill, just enjoying the hobby. Not have to worry about some douchebag,
Hey, don't call me names.
criticizing him. No, trust me, you're no way near the douche that we had to deal with. I literally just pushed him out of the hobby. Let me see. Let me find it here.
I actually got a personal one-on-one tutoring session with Methos Ross himself. It was a lot of fun. I'm so glad you had fun.
Where'd you put it, Methos? Oh, I see it. There it is. I got it.
Yeah, it was So much fun. Good bonding time too.
And it looks so freaking good, man. He did a great job with the skin tones, everything. Like,
Yeah,
oh
first
my
time painting in like
God.
5 years.
Yeah, I was so excited to see him, man. And then he was to see him with a brush again. So good. That's so tasty. Oh man, I'm telling you, that warmed my heart, man.
I agree. Anyone who wasn't around for last week's show, Darklight was actually in the chat, and I was mentioning how much I wished I could get him back into the hobby, and he's like, "Hey, I'm off this weekend. Let's get together." And we played some Zombicide this weekend. Me, him, and the girls. We won our mission, which was awesome, and man, it got really hectic. And after that, he's like, "So, well, what do you say we break out a model and paint together?" And I was like, "What?" And yeah, that was awesome. That was epic, actually. Just don't mention Heat Bloom to Methos Ross. Oh no,
I said I was sorry. I don't bring that up anymore.
I'm proud of my shitty ass Heat Bloom.
Oh my God.
Oh man, the Zombicide is so fun. I definitely agree. That was so cool.
I was almost close to getting the game because I was trying to get a game night for my oldest daughter and her husband, and we were like, oh man, we were kind of looking for stuff, but unfortunately the Target nearby here didn't have them. So we'll have to order them.
Next time we hang, if you want to borrow a copy before you invest in a copy, you can definitely borrow mine.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
I'll just give you mine.
Oh, there's that.
You're not going to play it anymore?
I have no one to play it with.
Play it with us? I mean, you can show us how to play the game.
Okay.
I was like,
Don't sound so excited,
I
man.
know, man. It's like I don't know what to think here.
I have to play with you.
We gotta play with Atlas too. Atlas has had a board full of zombies before.
Yeah, let's not talk about that either.
Yeah. Freak won't play with me with zombies anymore.
Like, oh, you got those resurrecting zombies. Oh, you just turned Lysander to the zombie.
I was about to say he had that one special zombie in his army. What was his name? Lynn.
It's just love.
Yeah.
Lyle, was that his name? The zombie named Lyle.
Oh god.
I've been playing the Resident Evil 2 remake in VR. A lot of fun, but man, lickers in VR are horrifying. Man, I just finished Resident Evil 2 remake, not in VR, but man, I imagine it is scary as hell in VR.
You played in
Mr.
VR?
X, apparently. Man, not playing in VR. At one point, Mr. X popped through the door, and I wasn't expecting him because I had just come through that door 2 minutes ago.
Did you
to solve a
squeal?
puzzle. I didn't squeal. I freaking screamed. Like, I'm surprised my neighbors didn't send someone to check on me. My wife came around the corner. My daughters came out the door like, Dad, what's going on? Nothing. Just Mr. X.
Before we get totally off the subject of games, one I am hyped for is freaking Dark Tide.
Yes.
Man, I'm sitting on my hands waiting for that game to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's quite a few of us waiting on Dark Tide. We're gonna have to get a group together.
And the whole zombies thing made me think about that. That was just
Methos.
sounds freaking epic.
Ooh, that's that beefy ass cannon.
Yep. One of them. Yep.
Hell
Throw
yeah.
that in the drink right now to clean it.
In the drink. X gonna give it to me. You know, I was thinking about that video you showed me, Darklight, when I was playing against Mr. X. Every time he burst through the door, burst through a wall, I kept thinking of the X gonna give it to you.
Of
course,
he
now
gave
that-
it to you good.
Oh yeah. Also, just thinking about DMX makes me think of you with your reading Rainbow
Butterfly in the sky.
Oh God.
while
Oh, speaking of that,
I was watching
yeah,
watching
go ahead,
watching the Bigfoot video.
yeah, I was. Okay, so funny. Let me see where we're at here. Okay, hold on.
You sound right with reading Rainbow.
So I don't know why, but I didn't show this off. So just making sure. That is the amazing Raz painting his model, man. Oh my God, this is best. This was the best pick. Made my freaking day, man. Like literally turned my day around.
Hell yeah.
And this was his. This is what he was working on. Super good stuff, man.
And while we're talking about him, I see Thomas was mentioning that he misses the Darklight Dreamer videos, and this is where he currently streams, and he's doing some scary games, of course, for Halloween. He's been playing Resident 7 lately. So yeah, he's doing scary games all month. There's his Twitch channel if y'all want to check it out.
So, fun fact. So, I just posted a collab game of Bigfoot with me, Oni, and my daughter Nina Chick. Anytime these two get together, I don't know why. That it's just when all three of us, it's like it's absolutely chaos. It's crazy crap happens, and so. We were okay. So in the video, in the actual video, I was just everything's real quiet, and I started humming something, and apparently it sounded exactly like the Reading Rainbow theme song, and out of nowhere, Oni was like, "Butterflies in the sky, I get them just twice as high." I'm like, "Oh God!"
It was John Cena.
No. Oh, that's right. I was like, da, 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 da. And he goes, and it's John Cena!
His name is
like,
John Cena.
Oh my, dude, I jumped. I freaking jumped. Like, oh my God.
scared you and
Scared, bro. They were like, Rod, what is wrong with you? And then out of nowhere, he's like, butterflies in the sky. So you guys want to see it? Yes. Oh, you need to go back and watch it. It's posted, and it's your dumbass singing it.
Yep, so the Twitch link will take you to Darklight Dreamer, but the YouTube link there will take you to Freak the Gamer, Freak's gaming channel, and his latest episode is him with Nina Chick and Brother Oni playing some Bigfoot.
It was a lot of fun.
I don't doubt you if I was singing it. I just don't remember it.
It was, the thing is, you did one leg of it, then you stopped. And then, like, 10 minutes later, you start saying, I can jump twice as high. Oh, is that blood? So ADD. Like,
sounds like
yeah, that was the funniest part about it. It was so ADD because, like, you started singing it, and then it was just like a long-ass time later, the second line just came out of nowhere.
Yep. And then you just say, oh, is that blood? What?
Squirrel.
Oh my God, the whole thing was just so stupid. So a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of fun. That was
Nation. Good morning, brother.
That was the first half of it, and I'll be posting the second half before the
this second
weekend's
half's
up.
gonna be even dumber.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah.
Thought the first half was dumb. wait for the second part.
Oh Lord.
By the end of it, you were like, I can't stand you guys. I'm done.
Hey, I need to go into the
that was
restroom.
the first 5 minutes. You guys were like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't stand you guys. I'm done. That was the first 5 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
All right, well, while you do that, I guess now's a good time for us to move on to our main subject tonight. And we're going to talk about a bunch of the Imperial Guard leaks that came out this week. And the source of this is from the channel Morty and Glory. Now,
Glory.
Morty and Glory has about 4 or 5 sources for this, and on top of that, they're considered to be pretty reliable sources, and even Auspex Tactics cited Morty and Glory and his leaks from this. So Auspex Tactics did a video on this, and the cool thing, I'm a subscriber. Well, not a subscriber. I'm a supporter for the channel memberships to both Auspex Tactics and Morty and Glory. And Morty and Glory said that, hey, I'm gonna do a text version of this down in the comments, and feel free to share this around with anyone you want to. And so, his blessings kind of been given out there. So we're gonna talk about it tonight. And man, do I have full pages of notes to talk about. There's so much that was leaked this week. Morty and Glory, like I said, has multiple sources, and he managed to cross-reference them with each other to really try and get an idea of what was most likely to be true and accurate. And so much goodness here. Did you happen to have a chance to read through any of this yet, Atlas, my brother?
Yeah, I've read through all of it. While I was at work, I listened to Heart of Mordians as well as Auspex Tactics. What was it, 5 days ago? Whenever he kind of gave his breakdown of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have went through all of it as well, and I am very conflicted. I don't know if you want to go through everything one by one and kind of talk about it when it comes up,
Yeah. Let's do that.
Because I got a list of salt that I think is coming up. Oh no.
That is fine. As an impassioned guard player, I kind of expected there to be things that you would be excited about and things that you might be salty about. In fact, I know a couple for sure that I was looking at. I'm like, oh, he's not gonna like that.
No. I noticed they decided to finally get rid of my veterans for sure now.
Yeah.
Gotta hate that, but it's all right. We'll take that with a grain of salt.
And we'll go through that. I don't think it'll be that bad because I think some of the stuff is just getting rebranded. Quick, put something in Professor Methos' coffee. So I've been getting really excited about Guard lately, and I think last episode or the episode before we talked about what we can extrapolate from the Trader Guard stats into the upcoming codex, and people were like, man, he is talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Which one of the huge ones was the I can't remember what it's called, the guard, where it was the Bulgrin or Algrin playing protector.
Oh yeah, the Algrin bodyguard.
Which I think that's actually really cool. I know we had a Nork Dead Dog that kind of did something similar. But he was the only one. It's sounding like you can take it with like each officer or something, which sounds really neat in my opinion.
They confirmed it's going to be an option to upgrade in the command squad.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I think that's really neat.
Hellworks loves your shirt, Atlas. Is that Midoriya?
Yeah.
Deku. Oh, Deku. Man. I want to be Deku when I grow up. Actually, I want to be All Might when I grow up, but I'll take Deku.
And thank you.
You want to be skinny and frail?
I want to be All Might in his prime when I grow up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about are the regimental.
Sorry to interrupt you, but speaking of Deku and All Might,
I'm waiting for the English version, brother. I'm waiting for the English version.
So do y'all keep up with the comics at all?
I don't.
Or the manga?
Oh, I do.
I do too.
This
It's all over the place, man.
I'm so hyped, though.
My girl, Mirko, putting that work in. I'm just sitting there, just watching. I'm just
waiting.
You do your jumps, girl. You do your jumps.
All right. So first thing we're talking about is Regimental Doctrines. And so what this is these are replacing the way you get army rules based on your regiments. And if you're new to Imperial Guard, these are like Space Marine chapters or chapter tactics. Now, instead of just picking a faction and getting them army-wide, there's going to be a couple of, there's going to be the ability to mix and match, whereas it's supposed to match the fact that in the lore, very seldom are you just getting all Cadians on a battlefield, all Catachan on a battlefield, and that usually it's just a bunch of, regiments of the Imperial Guard coming together, hailing from different places in the universe, all working together under a common cause, right? And so they say you're going to be able to take Krieg in your army, Cadians in your army, and that they're just going to be different squads of different specialists. And instead of getting one chapter tactic or, regiment ability for your whole army, you're going to be picking two abilities out of a list that will cover your whole army, regardless of where they come from. Now, what we can see, what this is kind of like is if you guys have ever made your own chapter in Space Marines instead of, taking Ultramarines, like I'm taking a custom chapter with this ability and this ability. That's kind of what you're doing here, except now there are no, I'm just playing Catachan, I'm just playing, it's every army is going to be taking two. There is mechanized infantry. Infantry in this army may disembark after moving. So for someone who, like Atlas, plays 14 million lasguns, might be pretty good to zoom your Chimera across the field and get out a bunch of infantry and start shooting. That might be pretty good. As I read through these Atlas, any that really catch your attention that you want to comment on, feel free to jump in.
So, one thing, we kind of talked about it like it was newer. I believe they said it's going to be, you can pick two.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yep.
So it's very similar to what we already had as far as building the regiment.
Yep, as far as like custom regiments, yeah.
Yeah, the custom regiments. They've just taken out the specific regiments, Catachan, everything, and I don't know, do you think that is because more tournament-wise? I don't know why they wouldn't have left it to where you could just take strictly Catachan or strictly Cadian or whatever the case may be, and still have it to where you can pick or choose one or the other, like they do right now. Because I kind of like the fact that you can build around one of those things, Catachan, Cadian, whatever.
Right. I get that, but like I said, I think it's just because they wanted it to represent that usually when the Imperial Guard show up to a battlefield, it's not just one regiment that shows up, that it's an amalgamation.
I guess that makes sense. The only thing I'm slightly worried about on the mix and match, just like you kind of mix and match now, it's hard to make your army kind of split multiple directions, be tanks and infantry. Yeah. Where you're going to want to take two of these to make either very infantry specific or more mechanized specific. You don't want to take one thing to boost your infantry and one thing to boost your tanks, because neither of them are going to be optimized as well as if you were trying to just optimize one part of the army or one target part of your army.
I agree with that. And actually, I was thinking to myself that, whereas right now I play Cadians and you play Catachan, right? I feel like maybe in future games we might be showing up with the same regimental choices that just like, it's one thing when you're picking your abilities based on the flavor of your army, like, because I like these characters better, I'm going to go Cadians or Catachan or whatever. But like now they're not necessarily tied to those things that give it flavor, right? Now it's just about, hey, which ones are good?
And looking through them, I don't notice anything that stands out a lot more than the others. I don't know. I really like Trophy Hunter, but that's going to be very dependent on what the new las guns are, I think. Like, a lot of the rumors saying that las guns are going to get a lot better, like almost heavy bolters, because they're switching it to heavy versus rapid fire, which is true. Very odd.
That's true. I'm not sure how much better they're going to get, though, because they've always been, Strength 3, they've always been about weak and just number of shots. I do know for sure that the heavy 3, when we get to talking about orders, that's where that's going to come in.
And I agree with you. That first, which one was it here? The one where, I believe it was the Catachan's version, which was like, if you move with a heavy weapon, you can still fire normally.
Yeah.
Strength or something, some strength. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that one. I've only gone through mechanized infantry so far. Next one is Parade Drill. And that one is if you remain stationary in your movement phase, during your shooting phase, get to change the type of last guns and hotshot last guns to heavy 2. So which, interesting, it's the remaining stationary and shooting kind of gives it the Cadian vibes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you're getting, I guess, the 2 shots at range instead of at half range, So it's kind of like, I guess,
But now we're assuming that las guns are heavy 1, period. Which means even if you move, you're only getting 1 shot.
Fair. I was actually talking. I mean, we don't know. I was assuming still rapid fire 1.
Yeah, because it says switch it to heavy 2.
Exactly.
And then the first rank, second rank says switch to heavy 3. Do you think it's still going to be rapid fire?
There's no telling.
Otherwise?
There's no telling. I have no idea. I do know that even if it goes to heavy 1, heavy 2, that's straight up doubling the number of shots. But even if it stays rapid fire, you'll be gaining, like it's going to be 2 shots still if they're up close, so that's not really a nerf. But it'll be extending the reach of that 2 shots. You'll get another, what are las guns? 24 inches?
I believe
18
that's
inches?
correct.
24? So currently you only get the doubles tap if they're at 12 inches, right? This means even if they're all the way out at 24, you're still getting the double tap. But now you're getting the heavy keyboard.
Yeah, it is 24.
So you're getting more range, but at the cost of heavy. So that's an interesting ability there. Cult of Sacrifice. This represents the Krieg. Each time a model with this doctrine makes an attack, if the model's unit was below starting strength when it was selected to shoot or fight, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. That could be pretty decent, actually. I mean, all of a sudden your guardsmen are hitting on 3s.
Also love how fluffy that is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty awesome.
What do the Kriegsmen do best? They die. For the Emperor, of course.
Of course.
Armor. What do you? I know Guard isn't really your interest areas, Oni and Freak. But what do you think about being able to get a +1 ballistic skill for having some of your models die?
I think it's a good bonus. I personally think it's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because typically without, because here's the thing. Typically, what I've always seen happen is that, okay, they died, nothing happens. All right, these go away, and let's move on to the next thing. But it gives you a fighting chance to say, oh, wow, it's like, you know what? They just killed some of our guys. Screw those guys. Let's get them, It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. So,
Lupus for Russ. Good to see you, brother.
I'm printing out the other leg now, the other leg in the. So I got this sucker pinned.
Oh yeah,
Awesome,
there's a
man.
pin sticking out.
that's a big ass pin. Yeah,
But it's going all the way straight through. So
very nice.
yeah,
Thank you so much, brother.
man, I'm having fun with it actually.
Armored superiority. Sentinels count as 3 models on objectives, and other tanks count as 5 models. Super heavies count as 10 models on an objective. This really actually adds weight, I guess literally, to armies that like to play the very tank heavy Imperial Guard, because the problem with the tank based Imperial Guard is that they just didn't have enough bodies to hold objectives, right? And so the objectives would get stolen right out from under them. But if you got a tank sitting on an objective counting as 10 models, I mean, that is definitely going to help you take some objectives. A Blitz Division costs half power level when working on what goes in reserve. Can deploy on turn 2 with the turn 3 rule for reserve. So yeah, park a Bane Blade on it. That's right. That'd be badass. So typically on turn 2, you can come in from the edges of the strategic reserve. You can come in from the edges of the reserve, but not near the deployment zone. This says on turn 2, even in your opponent's deployment zone, you can come in with Blitz Division. So, and because your stuff is only counting as half power level, you can fit more in reserve. So that's pretty cool. This one sounds good if somebody's running a Manticore or a what's that tank we hate, freak? A Basilisk?
An Asilisk? Yeah, I can't stand them.
If a Vox unit or a Sentinel unit can see an enemy within 12 inches of an artillery piece, then they get +1 to hit. So by having your Sentinels or units with the Voxcaster scouting up the field, that can sit there and... You guys ever played Gears of War? They've got that little laser pointer and they're pointing it, and all of a sudden it calls in an orbital strike.
Yep.
That's basically what's happening with this Basilisk here. Somebody is putting...
Pretty crazy.
Yep. Hey, here are the coordinates. Boom! Man, a freaking...
Perfect!
Which I think is really cool for Voxcasters, because at the beginning of 9th, it was all just kind of... Honestly, they just were for looks. They weren't all that useful. And then some of the newer stuff came out, and they actually became really good with the 18-inch actually broadcasting thing.
I feel the same way about Sentinels. I love how Sentinels look. Almost nobody takes them because they die kind of easily, and their damage output is not very good. But having them as scouting pieces for your Manticores and Basilisks would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, your Basilisk is already devastating, but man, with a freaking 3-up hitting on 3s, oh man.
But I don't know. That might change because they stole my doctorate. Oh, I'm gonna hold the salt. Keep reading.
You bastard.
Another doctrine is heirloom weapons. Add 4 inches to any range. I wish I could add 4 inches to my range.
Now,
With,
I've
with-
heard that you have 3 to 4 inches that you just pull out.
But you need a buddy to help you pull it.
yeah, of course.
I mean, like, because Demolisher cannons are amazing, but they're kind of short range, like Asians.
God.
I'm
Brutal
part Asian, I can say that.
brutal strength. Moving and shooting heavy weapons gives no -1 to hit. Also, you get the +1 strength for the first turn of combat for the infantry. How we feeling about that one? That one is the obviously Catachan themed one. Losing your ability to re-roll a number of shots for blast
Basilisk.
weapons.
My Basilisk can't reroll that 6 anymore, so when you roll those 1s, it's gonna suck.
Yep. Same thing with the Demolishers and the Battle Cannon.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
oh man, I get it.
And that was the other interesting thing, though, was moving and shooting heavy weapons. So the only way that would actually help at all is assuming either, one, you're going to first rank, second rank after moving, which changes them to heavy.
Yep.
Or that they are already a heavy 1.
Also, the other thing we were looking at, parade drill, right?
Yeah.
Giving
But
them the...
But this specifically says moving and shooting heavy weapons. There's no -1.
Oh, yeah.
So the only way that if it's not heavy originally, that it's going to mean anything is if you do first rank, second rank after you move. So that was the other thing that made me think possibly they're changing it to heavy 1, which in my opinion would be bad, obviously.
Right.
But if they're changing the weapons profile, then I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know.
I don't necessarily think that has to be the case, because I'm thinking of the way I like to play my heavy weapons teams and them being able to keep their last cannons with them when they run. And now, if I take this, I can shoot those last cannons still at its base.
That's fair.
And still fit them in the infantry squad trying to run and get objectives.
That's fair. I was not thinking heavy weapons teams. I was thinking infantry specifically.
So maybe that's for for people actually taking heavy weapons.
Maybe so.
It could go either way though, because we still don't have stats for the lasgun yet.
And that could very well be it, because in the original pictures with all the catachans, it's them with the heavy bolter or heavy stubbers, heavy bolters and stuff.
Exactly.
So maybe that's why they're picturing more for heavy weapons teams than the actual lasguns, which is kind of funny because I think you will take that, and I probably will not.
It's funny, yeah. The non-catachan person wants it, yeah.
So I don't know. It's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
I never took them for the +1 in strength and stuff, honestly. Whenever we first got into it and the Crusaders had different rules and everything, I kind of looked at it for that reason. But afterwards, it was mainly for the Basilisks and stuff. As well as I love Sergeant Harker, Sly Marbo, all the characters, which I am so happy about because it sounds like they killed off a lot of characters, but I didn't see Sly or Harker on that list. So fingers crossed we get to keep our boys in Catachan.
But maybe you'll want to keep taking her so that way your girl can still punch out, legendary people.
And that's fair. That's fair. I might still take it. Granted, I think I've given you all of my heavy weapons teams. So I don't know.
That's also fair. That's also fair.
I have to choose some change-ups here. But that is a very good point. I hadn't thought about it as heavy weapon teams, but that might be very well what they're trying to go for. And in that case, that would actually be
especially
good.
Since they've resculpted and rebranded their heavy weapons teams. They might specifically be looking at some of this.
I wonder if that will also apply to the new field ordnance. If those are going to be considered infantry, because it's still, I believe it's specifically 3 infantry with the weapon.
Right.
So I wonder if that's going to be included in that part where if they move it at all.
Now,
will it be next one?
Now, I think they're supposed to be the new iteration of the heavy mortar and the quad gun and stuff like that.
The batteries.
Yeah, and the batteries do have the vehicle keyword currently. So, I don't know. I'll be interested to see.
Okay. I saw one, I can't remember which iteration or if it's a completely different edition, where you could actually target the infantry instead of the vehicle.
I think that was 7th.
That was 7th? Okay,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Now they're
but
just part
it's really
of the model.
cool, though.
Oh, yeah. Swift as the wind, infantry gains +1 movement. All other units gain +2 movement. And all units add +1 to charge rolls. Nice. Marcos! Wah, baby! Wah! Trophy Hunter attacks against vehicles and monsters get +1 strength. Now, it's interesting because they were just mentioning on both Auspex and Morning Glory, they were both saying that's super situational. I don't think anyone will ever take those.
I love this one.
This one sounds great. I mean, almost everybody I know takes a Dreadnought, and the Redemptors and the Redemptor, the Leviathan, and the Contemptor are some of the biggest things in a Space Marine Codex right now.
We're also talking about our game whenever we did Militarum versus Militarum. How we were extremely upset with the battle cannon being as weak as it was. And we couldn't figure out a way to actually buff the strength. This could be that exact thing. Because it wasn't weak enough to where you're having problems with infantry, it was vehicles. Yeah. And this is giving you that +1 to fight off other vehicles. In my opinion, that is amazing for the Lehman Russ battle cannons.
That's a great point.
If the stats don't change too much on them. I think that's extremely relevant for that. As well as the Manticore. I believe the Manticore...
Oh, yeah, it's also only strength 8, so I'll be wounding most other tanks on 4.
And I think that would be amazing for Manticores. The Basilisks are strength 9, so I don't think it'll help them too much. But the battle cannon as well as the manticores, I think, would be like huge as far as trophy hunter goes. But that's what I was saying. It's kind of situational because you'd probably want to bring trophy hunter as well as what was it, bombardiers?
Yeah.
But that's using up everything. You know, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Or, I mean, there's so many good ones to pick from. I like
is.
brutal strength because I like putting my heavy weapons team in my infantry.
Yeah.
You know, there's what is it? The one where you add 4 inches of
Range to it.
range. Yeah, that's great for your demolishers. There's so many good ones.
What's funny is I think both of them actually looked at Swift as the Wind more highly than the other ones. They're like, oh, you could use that 2 inches to get the better shot off and stuff.
Yeah,
that was one that I was like, I don't think I'd ever really take that one.
As tournament players, they're thinking about getting bodies on objectives and stuff like that too. So
maybe so. I don't know.
Industry efficiency, treat AP1 as AP0. So that makes me question if we're getting Armor of Contempt. If we're keeping Armor of Contempt, rather.
That would be cool.
If Guard loses Armor of Contempt?
Not lose. I mean, you think that's going to happen?
Right now, Guard has it on all their vehicles.
Okay.
But if they have a whole chapter tactic dedicated to treating AP1 as AP0, well, if you have...
Would that be army-wide or like even infantry or just army?
I know, that's what I was asking.
That's true. So this would be army-wide, so I guess it would be a way of being able to give it to infantry.
Dang.
Currently...
So
currently it's only on Imperial Guard vehicles.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they have it on everything. You see, I can see that.
No.
Because, I mean, yeah. Dude, Guard has been weak as crap. Well, I mean, not
GW
the damn...
is pretty much like Oprah right now. It's like, you get Armor Contempt. You get Armor Contempt. You get Armor Contempt. Custodians, you don't, because you guys aren't elite anymore. You guys are supposed to be the lead of the elite. You don't get it.
That's because at Toughness 5, 4+ Invul, and 2 up armor, they already have it baked in.
No.
You use the fewest models out of anyone in the group.
No.
You finish your games like, I only lost 1 model.
No. Not a good enough reason.
I don't know. If we lost Armor of Contempt, that would be tough.
The other thing I can think of is if maybe it stacks.
On their vehicles, that'd be fine.
Yeah, it's just on their vehicles right now. What if it stacks, though? What if it's like, okay, somebody's got AP2, brings it down to AP1, and then you get industry efficiency, which takes it down to AP0. I don't feel like that's the case.
I don't think they would do that.
I feel like that's telling us we're going to lose Armor of Contempt.
I haven't thought about that, but yeah.
It's like a very subtly slipped in way of telling us we're losing our...
Or
what if you just lose Armor of Contempt if you take that specific trait?
Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be a good compromise. Yeah.
Yeah, if you take that specific trait, you lose Armor of Contempt. But if you don't take that trait, you keep it.
I don't think anyone would take it if that was the case. I think maybe it's also for troops wise. Maybe industry efficiency is more talking like flak armor.
Yeah.
That's fight off the heavy bolters for the infantry.
Yeah, I think that's what Freak was saying earlier. And if it was army-wide, I think getting the soldiers getting a little buff like that would be good.
Yeah. I'm guessing either 1, it's going to take away Armor of Contempt like you said, or 2, it's whenever the codex comes out, it's going to specify your infantry treat AP1 as AP0.
Okay, yeah, I could see that going both those. And which would be good, because I remember just a squad of regular intercessors
they can
wiping out one of your 10-man guard squads once in one turn.
Treating AP1 as AP0 and then like taking cover with them as well would give them a lot better chance of surviving. But if it's treat AP1 as AP0 army wide, taking away, that would be tough. Because honestly, I still would probably take some of the others over AP1 to AP0, even if it was for the tanks. Just because it specifies AP1 as AP0, not AP2 to AP1, AP2 to AP2.
And that's
So-
the great thing about Armor of Contempt is sometimes
Exactly.
that helps you just shrug off a las cannon.
You aren't too worried about people shooting the vultures at your vehicles. It's the las cannons and everything else you're wanting to drop the AP down on. At that point, I think it's more you want to shoot them before they shoot you kind of deal.
Elite shock troops reroll 1 hit roll per unit, just like salamanders. That's pretty good. Also, like the Lucky Gets, Bad Moons. Like we happen to know somebody playing Bad Moons in the future.
Who could that be?
I never said I would.
It's another very handsome orc. Recon operators, Sentinel and Cavalry units get a pre-game move, must end further than 9 inches away from the enemy. So there's our confirmation. We getting the Rough Riders back. Need to buy a new car. What? You have to share some pictures. Let us know what you get, my man. Last thing I have for doctrines is that some sources say to keep that they've confirmed that we are keeping Hammer of the Emperor, but it might be slightly different than it used to be. And some of those sources say that you might have to give up doctrines to keep Hammer of the Emperor, but then some say you'll be able to take both. So that's kind of up in the air. This Morning Glory found when he was cross-referencing what some of his sources was telling us, this is one of those things he's being upfront and saying, hey, some of my guys say this, some of my guys say this. But on the 13th, yesterday, that was his latest update that said that, some sources say that you may not have to give it up. So take it with a bucket of salt, he says.
Did you go over guerrilla fighters?
Oh, I may have skipped over it by accident. Ranged attacks. Anything outside of 18 infantry gives sentinels and infantry soft cover.
That's one that kind of worries me about industry efficiency. Is if you already have an ability that buffs the infantry's defense. I don't know if they would stack that.
Well, one is reducing the amount of AP coming in, and one is adding 1 to your cover
Save. Maybe so.
And there are things that negate soft cover too, like Imperial Fists.
Yeah.
Or what's the AdMech thing? The Auspex scanners or something like that. There are things that ignore cover saves.
That's fair.
All right. Any questions from our non-Imperial Guard peoples? I hate to feel like I'm just ignoring you guys. There's just so much Guard stuff to talk about tonight.
I mean, it's a Guard's kind of, night, so.
Is that chicharrones?
No, it's just cheese. I'm actually eating peanuts and cheese.
Okay.
Next. I know.
Yeah,
No, crunch.
Freak and I, we're just background characters.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm enjoying the I'm enjoying to listen. It's like listening to a podcast right now.
But you're living it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about our regimental orders next. And these are the orders that your officers, such as platoon commanders and company commanders, give. The most famous one in the Guard Codex has always been first rank, second rate fire. Who is starting a Guard army now? I've been starting one over the last few months. And Brother Atlas here has been our long-term, oh my goodness, since we met each other, what, 6 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first army I picked up. Lost a lot in 7. All of them in 7.
Yeah.
But they looked awesome. They made dying look good.
Third rank, second rank fire, just going from doubling the amount of shots you got, which used to be able to be doubled with rapid fire las guns to 4 shots, is now becoming heavy 3. What do you think about that? So, someone who's used a lot of first rank, second rank fire.
It's definitely going to depend on one, Hammer of the Emperor,
Mm-hmm.
the weapon stats of the las gun, and if it already is rapid fire 1, or if it has changed. Which I couldn't imagine them changing it from rapid fire. That'd just be crazy in my opinion.
So let's talk about the pluses and minuses. So the downside obviously is at max, and this is just max. This wasn't guaranteed every time, but at max you could be going from 4 shots to 3 shots, right? So that's the obvious downside, and possibly becoming heavy on top of that, right?
Yeah. So -1 to hit if you're not taking the strength buff.
And only if you move, right? So heavy 1 stationary is still fine.
Agreed.
I doubt last gun stats will be changing. Brother Ethan, one of my other favorite commissars. Good to see you, brother.
I certainly hope not.
But let's look at what the bonus is. Now you don't have to worry about how close you are. Remember how when you talked about your last guns, you always said the dangerous thing would be wandering within 12 inches of you, right?
Yeah.
But so now, even at the full 24-inch range, whereas if you even when you first rank, second rank fire, 1 shot at full range would still only be 2 shots. So you may be losing 1 shot at 12 inches, but at 24 inches you're gaining
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's giving you more range threat, I think.
Damn it.
I could see that.
And if you combo that with the brutal strength ability, where you don't take penalties for moving with heavy weapons, those could combo together pretty well, and you could move, not have to worry about the heavy ability, and then always get 3 shots.
My problem with first rank, second rank fire now is the way I think fluffy wise it kind of works is you have a line of guardsmen with las guns, front rank drops, and everyone's shooting.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what this is going to be used for now more, I don't know. This to me is very stationary now. And at least 9th edition is all about moving. You got to move up. You got to take objectives. Otherwise, you're going to lose.
Lyra. I love you.
So in my opinion, if you do not take the strength one, most of the time it just means you're going to be missing more often now.
That's fair.
With heavy. Because once again, if your guardsmen aren't moving up, you probably aren't going to win. And that's just it. You know, even all the other things that are buffing your infantry, like the departing from the vehicles, which is amazing, you're still moving. And with that stat, which they're trying to kind of push, in my opinion, on a lot of this other stuff you're reading is getting into vehicles, moving up, jumping out, moving up to get objectives. All it means now is, 1, you're wanting to get within 12 inches of people. Most of the time in all the games I've been playing at night, I've gotten rapid fire 4 most of the time because I am pushing up to get objectives.
It's true.
So the majority of the time, I think it's meaning I'm going to lose 1 shot, but also now I'm hitting on -1 if I don't take the strength check.
I could see that.
If
I could maybe help assuage that a little bit, or at least play the devil's advocate. Most of the time, what you're relying on now is that exploding 6s for Hammer of the Emperor, right?
Yes.
Yep. So the less accuracy from pushing up the board is almost negligible because we're fishing for 6s anyways, right?
Because you're getting 10 less shots from each squad.
That's
4
true.
squads, you're talking 40 shots. If we're fishing for 6s, I would rather have the 40 extra shots to try to get at least 4 to 6 more 6s.
And that much I do agree with. The lack of the 4 instead of 3, I totally get. I just meant the penalty for moving with any heavy weapons. because it's not the strength of the lasgun that really wounds. I mean, we saw a lot yesterday in our game. Trying to wound on 5s is always a ball ache.
It's not the size; it's how you use it.
It's how you use it, right?
I don't want to talk about it.
So auto wounding on the 6s is really our best bet.
Always tell me you could do better.
So I think the losing the extra shot at 12 inches is probably the bigger deal than the lack of accuracy. Because realistically, out of 10 shots, hitting on 4s.
Well, I was playing 3 squads veteran, so I was hitting on 3s. That's no longer an option, so I'm hitting on 4s.
I mean, that's fair.
And -1, so I'm going from hitting on 3s with...
But wounding on 5s.
120 shots hitting on 3s, going to hitting on 5s at...
That's true.
90 shots.
That is something to consider for sure. When you take the number of bodies that you do, the math really does start to become very tangible.
And honestly, infantry was a bigger deal when we're talking las guns. Most guards players are going to take a good number of bodies. Even, in my opinion, you're kind of running more mechanized, right? And you still had,
still
30,
50 bodies,
40, 50 bodies?
Yep.
Yeah. And let's say 50 bodies. It was going to be 4, so you're going to have a lot of shots, 200 shots.
True.
And now you're dropping down from 200 shots to 150 shots. That one shot makes a huge difference for guards players.
Or that number, yeah.
And like you were trying to play devil's advocate, you're fishing for 6s. Well, now I have 50 less shots to fish for 6s.
Well, it's 50 less shots if you're always guaranteeing that you're within 12 inches.
And that's fair. But the way the additional 9th edition pushes is for you to do it.
I'm just saying the extra 12 inches gives you a little more flexibility.
Like, I know whenever we played our game, and all we did was play who could kill who. We weren't even, we weren't even trying to get objectives. But even then, it was hard for you to keep your guys still.
I was trying. You just wanted to murder me.
So I don't know. In my opinion, it's a
I was just trying to live my best life.
Second rank versus a buff.
Oh yeah, I can agree. I was just saying maybe some of these side grade things make it not so bad.
So I'm curious. I have a question for both of you. I didn't quite see it. Did they do anything with the points on the vehicles?
And they haven't given us any points yet.
I'm curious because
our leaked rules.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I mean, it really is going to depend whether they're going to do something with the vehicles too. Because if they start increasing the points cost to the vehicles, that's going to move everybody to move more
infantry based.
Infantry based, which is going to piss off a lot of people. But
now, infantry is, funnily enough, the one thing we do have points leaks on.
Right. So I'm just wondering.
As well as I think they said the Rogaldorn, which speculation was only going to be like 265 or something.
Right.
Which isn't a lot higher than a regular Lehman Russ right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, I think that is going to be a very popular vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Yark? Old Baelai has been confirmed to be removed from the new codex.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's if it was said anecdotally, but it has been referenced for Yark's passing, and specifically that it has been 200 years since Gilliman came back, and so for him it might simply have been old age. But whatever happened, if Yark is dead, we shall all know that Gaz, a prophet of the Gork and the Mork, went out for his homie. Oh yeah, Gaz is such a sensitive subject right now. I forgot.
And you said Ethan hopped on, didn't you?
Huh?
You said Ethan was in the chat, right?
Yes.
I'd love to hear his just overall opinion. Does he think changes are better, or if he'd prefer to stay the same right now? Because
he hasn't played since early 8th, so I don't know how much he'd be able to reference these changes. Gotcha. But yeah, I would love to hear your opinion, brother Ethan, if you want to share us with anything you hear. Share us your opinion about anything you hear. All right, the next order is take aim, +1 to hit, This one has been so buffed. It's +1 to hit and +1 AP. So it's no longer just re-rolling once, +1 to hit and an extra AP, which will be immediately negated by Armor of Contempt.
Which is going to be huge, because this also works for mortars, for autocannons, for
las cannons. Yeah.
To me, this buffs heavy weapons teams amazingly.
Hell yeah.
The issue is you can't give a squad more than one order. Now, you could get around that sometimes with Laurels of Command before, but they changed that. So now you're guaranteed probably only be able to give everyone one. So you can't like give them first rank, second rank, and then try to make up for the difference with take aim. It's going to be one or the other. And in my opinion, I think take aim is going to be used a lot more than first rank, second rank.
Yeah, I agree. Take aim is so good. Well, brother Ethan, my man, if you are interested, I will text it to you. Text you the leaks, and you can feel free to take a look at it if it is of any interest to you. Not necessarily right this second if you just feel like thumbing through it. All right, brother. I agree. That one's going to be amazing. Fixed bayonets, +1 to hit on melee. What was it before? Wasn't it attack?
Bayonets, yeah. You could fight an extra turn during like the
during the command phase.
Yeah. And then you could fight normally during the actual combat phase. So it's completely different now.
So instead of getting a whole nother round of combat, it's going to make you more efficient and add some AP. What do you think? Do you think just the number of attacks from the whole extra round of hitting is going to be better than these buffs?
I think it's going to be a little interesting because one, I'm guessing you're going to have to kind of predict. I'm planning on charging this turn, so I need to go ahead and give it to him.
Oh, yeah.
Because guard, honestly, typically don't last more than a round of combat.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it'd be very situational for them to have survived a round of combat and then you cast it on them as like a defensive player. There was one of the relics that said you can use a command during the opponent's turn. Fixed bayonets might be an option for that.
That's true, yeah.
I think you'd be more likely to like take aim for Overwatch for like hitting on 5s and -1 AP, in my opinion, than you would fix bayonets. It's really cool that we have it, and honestly, I would prefer this fixed bayonets over the extra fight round, because the original fixed bayonets had the same issue of you basically have to survive a round of combat before you can use it on your next turn.
Okay.
So this one, if you can predict that you're planning on charging that turn, you might be able to go ahead and pop it off and then charge them in.
I think that one is going to be pretty interesting. I think it's going to be really good for light infantry, like not Space Marines, but orcs, other guardsmen, a lot of Eldar.
I agree.
Take
even
cover.
In a pinch, especially if you're taking the strength deal to give them +4, it might help get rid of that 1 or 2 Marines that are trying to lock you up or something.
That's a really good point. Take cover, gain light cover. If already in light cover, then you gain dense cover. That one is pretty awesome because we already like to sit guardsmen in cover anyways, and then being able to get -1 to hit with dense covers, pretty awesome. I can't right off the top of my head think of any other armies that have the ability to just give dense cover. Light cover, yeah, lots of armies do it, but being able to give dense cover is huge.
So my only problem with take cover, I guess if you're holding objectives already, I could see you casting that over anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, you're going to be trying to deal more damage than survivability-wise, unless you're already in position, like holding an objective or something.
So your thing is that just take aim overshadows it.
Yeah.
I can see that.
The other reason I like which get light cover if already in light cover, gain dense cover. So you still get light cover if you're out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's still good. So honestly, I would say it was still a buff over the old one.
Oh yeah. Well, I'd forgotten what light cover is like, so and the dense cover really stands out to me.
I got you. I don't fully know the difference between light cover and dense cover as far as rules go.
Light cover is the
Plus
add
one.
one to your cover save, but that's also the one that after playing against Freak for 7 years, then I just tend to forget what light cover feels like. Dense
And what
cover
was
is the -1 to hit.
Okay.
I get
And
dense cover
before
with
it-
my Vexilla.
Yeah,
If I'm not
like that.
mistaken, I think take cover before was always just add 1. So the fact that you can have a chance of getting the -1 is pretty awesome.
Agreed. Are ratings like power level ratings in the Codex? And all we have right now, we don't have any of the data sheets and most of the points. All we have right now are some rules as far as the weeks go. I like this one. Suppression Fire. Target infantry only. Can only... Oh, but before I move on to that, one thing I forgot to say. The fixed bayonets, I was going to say, that one's going to be really good if the rumors about us being able to give orders to Ogren are true.
Right. That was
Those gauntlets and mauls with the ability to get +1 AP and +1 to hits can be awesome.
I think the rumor was, though, because there's a separate list of commands that only a commissar can give. Correct?
Yes.
And they were the ones that was rumored to be able to give orders to the Auburn.
Okay.
So you won't be able to give these ones to an Auburn, Bulgren, or whatever. The
Gotcha.
auxiliary troops.
Yeah, gotcha.
But that would have been really cool for sure. I think that's maybe why they left that one off that list.
Oh, rattlings. Okay. No, it's okay. I didn't get
Rattlings would have been cool too.
Yeah, I that's another one I'm not sure of. I haven't seen anything
+1
about
AP
them.
on a sniper would be amazing.
That would be awesome, right? Move. Get 2-inch movement, and if you choose to advance, it's an auto 6, kind of like a bike. That's pretty cool. So this one, some people have mixed feelings on because you can no longer just zoom with the whole double movement like you could with move before, but because you don't have to roll, it is more. You can always plan on
A lot
getting an
more
extra
fluid.
8 inches.
Yeah.
Or if you get
Man.
one, it just sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. If I could get a guaranteed extra 8 inches, I'd be casting move all the time. Help me take objectives.
Yeah.
Suppression Fire. Target infantry only can only target one unit if 5 or more hits are scored. The enemy subtracts 1 from hit rolls until your next shooting phase. That would be so key. Could you imagine hitting something like I don't know, Riptide with 5 lasgun shots and saying you are going to be shooting worse next turn?
Which this once again comes around to first rank, second rank fire.
Right. It's just overshadowed. Or take aim.
Well, number of shots. You don't have that number of shots anymore. So if you don't take first rank, second rank fire, the most shots you'll get is 2 per person.
That's true.
So you have, and scoring on a 5. Because it says you have to hit at least 5 or more times for it to actually count. Right?
Yeah,
if
that's
5
true.
or more hits are scored.
That's why we need a big blob of 30 conscripts.
Which we can't get anymore.
Well, I think this might be a veteran
With the white
situation.
shields.
Yeah. So those are all
Veterans.
infantry orders. Yeah, we have tank orders. Pound them to dust. When using blast weapons, double the number of models in the enemy unit. So I don't know if you had... No, let me not phrase this that way. That might be a touchy subject right now.
Don't mess with me, man.
I don't know, if you had 3 eradicators in a unit, you could make them.
God dang it! You rat bastard!
You could use them as this ability to make them count as 6. That way, you get that blast rule off.
You know, my fingers have been pretty slippery lately. I really would hate to drop some of these.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I love you. I didn't mean it.
It's like, I love you, I didn't mean it, but I did mean it.
Yeah. I mean, the damage is done. You already did it. Oh, I didn't mean it, even though I just stuck it right up your rear end.
Well, I meant to use Luke.
Dude, yeah, you didn't. You missed.
All right, full throttle. Add 2-inch movement and counts as stationary if advanced.
That's pretty crazy.
That's interesting.
It just counts as stationary, yeah. So they don't get the penalty for it. What it sounds like.
Didn't get the penalty.
Yeah, no penalties. But for a tank, I'm trying to think of what the benefit is going to be there, because apparently Leman Russes are losing the ability to shoot twice. They're losing grinding advance.
I've heard that too.
Well, the rumor is that there are 2 rumors. There's that we're going to lose grinding advance, but the other one is that they're going to bake the grinding advance ability into the battle cannon profile. I don't know if they're doing the same thing with demolisher cannons, but oops, Freak dropped it again and again and again. I said I'm sorry. So I don't know what that's for. If grinding advance is no longer a thing, and if Cadians no longer have the ability, if they don't move, reroll instead to hit, what is this for? That's just where my brain. It seems like a good ability, but why? The why is
right.
I think the only thing is getting around buildings if you can't quite see or something.
But what? No, okay, the 2 inches, yeah.
Yeah,
can
just
help
the
you get
2
line of
inches.
sight.
To add stationary and
stationary,
advanced, I'm not really sure on that part.
Yeah, that's just so curious.
As well as if advanced.
Like we talked about, take aim. That's probably going to be the auto take for infantry orders.
Yeah.
Gunner skill on sight. This is going to probably be the take order you go with most of the time.
I agree with that as well.
Reroll 1s to hit on something as big as a battle cannon or demolisher cannon. Why wouldn't you want that? You know. Blitz them. Add 1 to charge rolls. I guess if you're charging with a Chimera or something. If a charge roll is made on a 4+, inflict D3 mortal wounds. Okay. So
I guess
kind of like
it was a stratagem before. There was a stratagem that you could play that basically was the exact same thing.
Okay.
I guess they just turned the stratagem into an order because it's very situational that you would ever use this.
Those are blades as +1 to the roll. So on a
that wasn't on there originally, which is kind of cool.
I could see, a lot of times a strategy is to take your transports and just, run them into combat to soak up firepower and stuff like that. I could actually see that being helpful. You tie something up with your Chimera, and then on top of that, you're also getting D3 mortal wounds. Or if you got something that's just got a couple of wounds and you're hoping to finish it off, like a little goblin that you're just hoping to get the mortal wounds on for that last whole point.
My biggest problem was tank orders originally. You only had 1 tank, 2 tanks tops that typically could give 1 order each.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna 90% of the time give it to a Leman Russ or the new model.
Or the new
Gunner's Kill on Sight.
Rogel Dorn battle tank.
Yeah. Versus,
that's true.
Hey, you Chimera, run that guy over.
And it's true. And how often are you going to have your Chimera next to your Leman Russ battle tank or your Rogel Dorn battle tank or your tank commander?
If I believe there was command chimeras and stuff, but I think it's legend right now.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So if they brought that back to where you had chimeras that were also given orders, then I could see that as definitely being a possibility.
That's a good point.
But I don't think they're going to bring that back.
Shock and awe. Give 1 tank objective secure. That's very situational.
Yeah.
I mean, typically, if something was threatening an objective my tank is sitting on. Ooh.
It will help with the fact that it's
Look at the size of that cannon.
Right?
This is ridiculous. This is just a comparison there.
Oh my god.
I guess see if I can.
I've seen bigger.
Don't. There we go. And good lord.
That's awesome.
Insane. Nuts. Oh.
Yeah, typically I think if my tank commander is sitting on objective and there's something threatening it, I don't necessarily know. I'd be like, objective secured, I'm safe. I'm going to want to get that tank commander out of there or use its kill on sight to kill whatever's threatening my objective. Like, I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, but I'm objective secure. It's like, yeah, but you can't shoot with your tank commander. Son of a bitch. Gamers with Coffee says, wow, that cannon is huge. That's my first time hearing that. No, because he just printed it out, and it's, you know, like, not been around before.
Yeah.
Last one, under tank orders, by the way. We used to only have 3 tank orders, so getting double that amount is pretty awesome.
I completely agree with that.
Pinning fire, I think, is another good one. If you get 5 or more hits on something, subtract 2 inches from that enemy's movement. So if you're just trying to really, like, you're not confident you're going to kill something, like, I don't know.
Say it.
I was going to say a squad of custodians on foot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, why you lying?
So I hope they change that because if I'm not mistaken, there's a psychic power that's very similar. But it specifies like 2 inches from movement, from charging, from retreating. Like it's 2 inches from everything, not just movement. The only time I could imagine you would use this is if you're trying to prevent someone from actually charging you.
Yeah.
To where if you could remove 4 inches, then it's more likely I would use it.
These are the Commissar Prefectus orders next. Forwards for the Emperor. When shooting, the unit counts as having remained stationary if made a normal move or advanced. This is another thing that could possibly combo with las cannons. Last guns going to heavy when they rapid fire, or you know, the first rank, second rank. So you could possibly have a commissar that might help with that. Also, another thing that could possibly help with the heavy weapons teams. A goblin with a tank? Oh yeah, Mini War Mutt. I had a goblin named Makari who stabbed a Sakaran to death with his lucky knife.
Oh, we're back at that again, aren't we?
But he asked why I was mentioning a goblin with a tank. I'm answering your question. So yeah, it destroyed a tank with his lucky knife. It was
so
the
realistic.
best goblin ever. Next is Duty and Honor. This unit can perform actions even if it fell back or advanced, and shooting does not cause actions to fail. That's a pretty good one if you just have your, you're doing things like raise the banners or things, your action-based objectives. I never take action-based objectives, but I hear they're very popular in Nephilim. Get back in the fight. This unit can shoot. This is interesting that this one is Commissar only. Prefectus. I wonder if the new Lord Solar or the new Castellan will get these or other ones. But yeah, get back in the fight. A unit can shoot or charge, but not both in the same turn. It fell back. What do you think of that one, Atlas?
I think that's pretty much similar to what it was before.
It's similar, but now it's Prefectus only. So Commissar.
Yeah, my problem is reading through all of these here. So, like you were saying, forwards for the Emperor. Mm-hmm. When shooting, the unit counts as having remained stationary if it made a normal move or advanced. I would rather take aim.
That's right.
Because, yes, you're losing that -1, but you're regaining it and you're getting an AP. So I'd rather take another regular officer versus the commissar. Get back in the fight, situational. But I do like get back in the fight.
It is good.
Um,
Oh, but you said that you'd rather have take aim instead of forwards for the Emperor. But remember, these are prefectus orders, so I think it would be different officers giving take aim or forwards for the Emperor.
And if that's the case, that's very different. It just says other orders, and before it was always you can only give one unit one order. So if it can stack,
Gotcha.
that might be a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's true, because we haven't learned how these difference between commissar orders and the
Because
regular
currently, orders are orders. Like,
Right.
you can upgrade a commissar to give orders, but it's not counted any differently as a regular officer's order.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how these interact.
Yeah. If they can stack, then yeah, that's amazing. If it's counted as orders, I think I'd be taking 2 officers over 1 officer, 1 commissar.
Yeah, it sounds like that would be a worthwhile way to take them. Marco says, I haven't had time to pay orcs recently. Hopefully in the next couple weeks I can start a project. Hopefully so, brother. Mini Wara says, was the goblin named MacGyver? Maybe it must have been wearing a red bandana, much like Rambo. Big Mac Danskull! Good morning, Big Mac. At all costs, unit gains objective secured. Its models each count as 1 extra model if it already has objective secured. Very nice. So just doubling the number of bodies on an objective could be really good.
That can't be really good, and that's come up pretty often, honestly.
Show them steel. Show them contempt. Add 1 to the unit's leadership. Its models can ignore mortal wounds on a 5+. That one's, I don't know. I mean, I guess if
using
you're
mortal wounds too often on guardsmen.
Yeah,
If you are, you're overkilling.
exactly. Or it's like, I mean,
Or you're just custodians and have nothing better to do than kill guardsmen.
do custodians even have access to a lot of mortal wounds?
What's that?
I said,
What's up?
custodians.
Oh, sorry.
I said,
Grey
the
Knights.
custodians.
Grey
Oh yeah,
Knights.
yeah, Grey Knights, yeah.
That changes.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I've got 120 bodies on the field, but if you want a mortal wound 3 of them, that's fine.
This next one is by far the one I think would be the most useful.
Remain vigilant. Units cannot set up within 12 inches, and the unit can hold steady if it charged, so it overwatches on a 5+. Preventing deep strike is huge.
Preventing deep strike is huge. 5
And
up for Overwatch would be
5
good.
up Overwatch, yeah.
But also, like you said, if it actually stacked and you take aim
I do like
beforehand,
you striking
you get it up to like 4 up.
my Lars.
No, that would be against the core rules. You can never get more than +1 to hit.
Ah, okay.
I've been hiding in a dark room. Not been doing much lately. Hobby-wise, hopefully I'll be back on the horse soon. The horse misses you. Yep. The horse misses you. And so does the cowboy. So, even though the horse misses you, save the horse and ride the cowboy. By the way, Freak's a cowboy.
Who's the horse?
Oni?
What do I do?
All the orcs showing up to figure out clues on Guard. Next, we have tank aces, and our favorite one is gone. The first tank ace ability is an interesting one. This one is the one that Morning Glory was less sure of, because whereas the other ones that was given to them as a leak, they have names for them. This one doesn't even have a name yet. But apparently, one tank ace will let you take a super heavy tank and make it your tank ace. Give it officer keyword like a tank commander. So can you imagine a Baneblade tank commander?
That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. A couple other tank aces. One that ignores light cover. One tank ace gives a tank transhuman physiology. That tank can never be wounded on a 1, 2, or 3+.
That's damn good.
The 3+ is pretty good. I don't know anybody that's wounding tanks on 2 except for like Gazgul, a couple of Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good though. I mean, being able to ignore things like las cannons or blade champions on a you make them only wounding on a 4+ is pretty good. Give a tank a 5+ invulnerable save, and it ignores mortal wounds on a 5+. That's another pretty good one. Although we see with orcs, 5-up invul, not necessarily the greatest. I put a 5-up invul on my truck yesterday. Freak looked at it funny, it exploded. He looked at it with his Leviathan and said, "See that truck over there? Yeah? I don't want to see it anymore." I was like, "Oh yeah,
dude."
I said, "Watch me roll these invul saves." All right, I'll pull this off the table. Yeah, okay. Brother Ethan says, "A Baneblade tank commander, you say?" That's right. Hey, have a great night, Mini Warmut, and enjoy your game.
Allegedly. Until the rumors are proven true.
They should have gotten the 4+. I would love to have seen a tank commander get a 4+ invul, but I think that would definitely be. But being able to ignore mortals on a 5+, I guess that makes up for some of it. I think I agree. I think a tank commander with the 4+ invul would have been nice. But it's okay. It's pretty good. I mean, none of these are like terrible so far. Master of Camouflage, get light cover from ranged attacks over 12 inches away. Titanics, so if you take a tank ace super heavy, then they got to be more than 18 inches away. Which you're going to usually want to put tank commander somewhere towards the back unless they got a demolisher on them. Steel Commissar, gains Commissar orders, and it can order Ogren. That's what seems okay, but I don't know. I kind of would want my tank commander to give tank orders.
Agreed. I think the number one thing there is pick a bonus regiment doctrine.
Oh yes,
veteran
commander.
How, veteran commander, in my opinion, is the highlight of all those. Because, like we were saying, it'd be really hard to kind of build a list around just having 2 of those options. To where if you're only taking 2, which I only usually take like 1 or 2 Basilisk, or 1 Basilisk and 1 Russ, and then all the rest infantry.
Mm-hmm.
But this would actually give me the option, or anyone else is playing infantry with just a little bit of backup.
Make it very flexible.
Yeah, to actually be able to make them take, what was it called? The Monster Hunter or something like that. And that would be huge for that.
Yeah, that'd be really flexible.
So I could easily see bringing that one nearly every time.
Yep.
In my opinion.
I thought Gene Stealers sounded scary with the 4+ invul, then proceeded to wipe them out in 1 turn of combat with my Beast Snagga boys. That's true. A 4-up invul can be overcome unless you're playing against Oni, who has never rolled under a 4+ invul save once in his life.
Nope.
This is true.
Hot. We call him Hot Hands Oni. Hot Hands Cuchilla.
Take his dice.
Now, there is one that is very conspicuously missing, Atlas. What is it?
What is it now?
There is one tank ace that is very, very conspicuously missing. What is it?
That's missing.
There is no full payload. So some of these sound pretty good, but the loss of full payload, especially for them basilisks, what you thinking?
I'm leaving.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show tonight.
And just like that.
This game sucks. I want
This game sucks.
to renege.
I have not seen Atlas without at least one full payload basilisk
It's a staple.
since Tank Aces came out.
Yeah,
I remember when the Tank Ace book came out.
we just had this whole long conversation about how, like, I was like, oh man, they're never going to give the guard an option to have like a flat 3 damage or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're taking away. Well,
So his bastions can take a full payload.
Yeah, Kurt. I
Is
mean,
that what you're saying?
that's how he gets the 3 damage every hit. Is that full payload?
Oh
ticket.
no, that's too bad.
Now it's just D3. So now, like we were talking about earlier, one of the worst things about getting a heavy shot through is when you roll 1 for damage, right? When we had a full payload, you never had to worry about that. Now,
Dude,
can you imagine getting through a couple of those big, heavy basilisks shots, and it's snake eyes?
Oh no, that's too bad.
I did that. I did that yesterday with one of my mech guns. I got through that custom mega cannon, snake eyes on the damage, and then I re-rolled it. Still a 1. I was like, well. Holy crap, 4 in a row. These sex bots are popping up faster than I can ban them.
They really want your business.
And they do.
I'm at a loss for words.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
they broke them.
And reported. Okay. Sorry, I just had to do the ban hammer there. Next, we have psychic powers that have been leaked. These are widely considered, like, some of these have been buffs, like the loss of full payload is tough, but most of these tank aces are buffs. I think other than full payload, all of these tank aces are better than we had before. The orders, some of them, like first rank, second rank fire changing, as a bit of a nerf, but the rest, again, so far, are better than they were before. And the tank orders, not only are they better, but we have double the amount of tank orders than we had before. But these psychic powers, by so far, everyone that I've seen review these leaks, are all considered kind of a side grade. Terrifying Visions is the first psychic power. Warp charge. They've got Warp Charge 6 listed as the cost for all of these. I don't know if that's a placeholder or if it's just a codex full of Warp Charge 6. I would imagine these are placeholders. To the start of your next command phase, subtract 2 from the leadership of enemy unit. Your opponent cannot select that unit for the Ensave Bravery stratagem, so no auto passing, and no reroll for morale. Also, roll 2d6, and if you beat the enemy leadership, they fail any actions that they were doing. That's pretty good, not just for trying to make people fail leadership, but also making people stop actions is a great way to pull ahead on points in game, especially the way 9th edition is going. So I think that's decent. I'm not sure I'd spend a whole... I think most of us, instead of spending a whole psychic power to make somebody stop doing an action, we would just shoot them or charge them or something. But I mean, that one's okay. Gaze of the Emperor. Select any model within 12 inches and draw a straight line between any part of that base and the Psyker's base. Roll 1d6 for every for that model's unit, and another for each unit the line passes over. On a 1 through 5, they suffer a mortal wound, but on a 6, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. That's a nice little, like, beam attack, I think. It's pretty cool. Holy crap, I didn't realize. My bad, man. I will, I guess we need to go
Cliff
over...
notes.
Yeah. Couple of standout ones here. Psychic Barrier has been massively nerfed. So instead of +1 to their save, well, it's not necessarily nerfed. It's a side grade. Before it was add 1 to their save. Now it's that unit gets a flat 5-up invul save, which is great for things that would have taken a lot of AP damage, but less good for things that would have been taking small arms fire. Night Shroud, still awesome. That unit used to be that unit gains a -1 to hit. That was already great. It's even better now. If this Night Shroud goes off, they can never be hit on a 1, 2, or 3. They need a 4-up to hit that unit. So even a Space Marine captain hitting on 2s can only hit on 4s now.
Damn.
There's another one, Psychic Maelstrom. It's another attack that causes mortal wounds. Some Warlord traits. The Warlord traits are usually like the least effective part of a codex. I'm going to skip over those. Relics. My Gatekeeper is a Acadian battle cannon that you upgrade. It has the turret key weapon. This is another key thing. Turret weapons is a new special rule for Imperial Guard. All turret weapons get +1 to hit.
Ow.
So that's why tank commanders lost the 3-up hit to hit, because all turret weapons are already getting +1 to hit.
Oh, interesting.
And Gatekeeper's got a buff with strength and damage. Now Gatekeeper has D3 plus 6 hits, strength 9, AP -3, D3 damage. So it is a much heavier hitter than it was before. Because before it was only AP2 and it was only strength 8. So now it's a much stronger one, and it's 72 inches. One thing that did get changed, I think more of a side grade, Laurels of Command can issue one order from a specific subset, not all orders, once per game. So instead of being able to issue additional orders every turn, it can only be used once per game. So Laurels of Command has been nerfed. And these are some other things that I'm just going to give some highlights here. Like you said, cliff notes. New Lord Solar character. We're getting a Supreme Commander, kind of like Gilliman. I love that Joy toy figure, man.
I love it more.
There are no conscripts in the new book, but White Shields have a data sheet. I think this is just a side grade thing, where instead of being able to take White Shields, because you're getting everybody's army, Krieg, Cadians, Catachans, I think the White Shields data sheet is the old conscripts. The same thing with not having any veterans. You're getting your multi-purpose, multi-special weapon attack team in the Cadian shock troopers. So I think the veterans are kind of just going by the shock troopers data sheet now. So they'll probably get that 3-up to hit, much like the veterans. We'll have to see, though. But I think it's going to be a side grade. Yark is out of the new book. Special weapon squads are out of the new book. Commander Pask is out of the book. They say the old Creed is technically out of the book. He's in a Pokeball for the Necrons right now. And Kel is out of the book. However, they said you will be able to take Ursula Creed. If you have the old Creed model or the new Creed model, you'll be able to still run Creed. It's just the current Creed is the daughter Creed. Rough Riders are confirmed to be back. You can play Scions as its own faction, but just like now, you lose out on about 25% of the codex if you do. But if you play them as their own faction, you can take Scions as troops. If you're playing Imperial Guard, then Scions become an elite choice instead of a troop choice. Lord Solar is also what lets you take Scions as a troop. So we know that the new Supreme Commander is kind of going to be a Scion instead of a Guardsman. It's pretty interesting. Commanders, we've already talked about. Preachers and Engineers are still independent, but they're going to have more wounds. They're getting buffed. And now the big thing everybody wanted to know about, the Rogaldorn Battle Tank. I've also heard it called the Rogaldorn Siege Tank, and then I've heard it referred to as Rogaldorn's title, the Praetorian, instead of calling it the Rogaldorn. So who's to say? I've heard 3 different names for this thing so far. It's going to come with a twin battle cannon, kind of like the Macarius, which is pretty cool. A big ass twin battle cannon, and you can even upgrade it to something called an oppressor cannon or a coaxial autocannon. I mean, why take an autocannon when you can take a big ass cannon? The oppressor battle cannon. Check this out: D6 plus 3 shots, strength 10, AP 3. Damage 4, blast 90-inch range. I prefer Siege Tank, but I'm a Terran StarCraft fan. That's fair. It can also replace. It can also take either 2 Melta-Guns or 2 Heavy Stubbers. It has a Gatling cannon on it that you can replace with something called a Pulverizer cannon. I'm interested to see what that is. It can be equipped with armored tracks. No idea what that's going to do. It's going to have the turret weapon rule, so of course you'll get the +1 to hit. Hitting on 3 sounds nice. Ballistic skill 4, toughness 9, 2+ save. So this is all sounding really good. The armored tracks give you damage 1 weapon, damage 1 weapons give you a +1 armor save. Okay, so it's going to be resistant to small arms fire, and it's going to be somewhere between 250 to 280 points, and it's going to have 17 wounds. So I think as far as a tank goes, it may not have anything to do with your fist, but I think it does your boy justice.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think they named them like that for a reason. That's pretty cool.
I think
he's not misrepresenting at all. So.
I think as a house rule, I would let the Imperial Fist player in our group take a Rogel Dorn tank in his army if you wanted to paint one up.
I think it'd be fun to paint one up. I don't know if I'd play it, but I definitely would paint it up in a heartbeat.
I think if anyone plays it in the group, and
I imagine it's got the Rogel Dorn like insignia or something. You know, it's got the name. That would be so freaking cool if they did that.
That would be awesome. Although I don't think the Lehman Russes have any kind of insignia.
Hey, one could hope.
One could hope. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You could even put one on there. Put a couple transfers on there or something. I think
some
you should.
VII logos on there.
Some VII.
Yeah, VII. I love VII. All about VII.
Atlas, my brother, you've been like the biggest Imperial Guard fan that I've known for a long time. Also, brother Ethan, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I've just talked a lot at you tonight instead of with you. I was just trying to get through a lot of this information. What are your thoughts so far? I know you said you had some salt. Give it to me, baby.
I'm still absorbing the loss of the full payload.
You have been quiet since I said that.
Yeah, you have.
I haven't heard much since
You
that
broke
point. The way I play guard is, in my opinion, completely broken by this edition.
Yeah, the loss of veterans.
Literally everything that I do guard-wise is gone.
I mean, okay, if you think if the stormtroopers get the 3-up ballistic, and that's just the new data sheet for veterans, then
I typically
you're just losing the full payload.
I agree.
And the reroll, I guess your reroll blast weapons.
Reroll blast weapons, full payload, laurels of command, no veterans.
Man, it's almost like they nerfed your army specifically.
They have 100% nerfed my entire army list. Now I am trying to see the good side of things.
That's fair.
The way I play personally, I enjoy playing troop lists. And honestly, I do not see any buffs to infantry. Specifically. We got to the point to where our infantry was really good. Like just now. And I feel like they're taking that away. Like they were like, oh man, they actually got pretty good. Let's dial it back 1 or 2. And they're focusing on heavy weapons and special weapons now. Trying to take away the las gun. Because which I didn't realize it until after we had talked about it. But everything specifically kind of ups the general use of weapons, not the las gun specifically.
True.
So I feel like they're trying to dial people away from using the las gun and bringing more specialized weapons, which is fine. I just like the fluffy las guns. I like bringing flashlights and pointing them at people.
It's true. Well, thankfully, Hammer the Emperor is still around. And there are overlapping things that
Hammer the Emperor is around, but they nerfed my firepower by 1/4.
I mean, that is true. They gave you more range, though, so you got some flexibility there.
I don't need
you don't
range.
necessarily you don't necessarily have to be in charge range.
Whew. I got a lot to process.
It did definitely jack with your specific playstyle for sure.
It jacked with my playstyle. I think they are pushing to go heavy specialized weapons and armor. Which in 9th edition, the beginning of 9th edition, we were already very armor specific. Like the only way a guards player was going to pull out a W in the beginning of 9th was to bring a mechanized list. Like a lot of Russes. That was just the big thing.
I don't know. Morty and Glory has a few videos where he took a full infantry list to some tournaments and did well.
In the beginning of 9th? Or later on?
I think later on, to be honest with you.
Because later on, they got a couple of buffs that made them a little
true.
bit better. And then we got Hammer of the Emperor, and they got a lot better. And then suddenly we saw a lot of people playing the Guardsmen. And we were doing good.
As someone who showed up to the Guard specifically to play tank lists, I think this upcoming Cobalt X definitely seems like it's a little more generous to me than to you. But
like I said, I can
killed your
see a
excitement?
little. Oh God, it. So about 30K.
You know, funny thing you should say, you know.
Also, did y'all know I'm also getting some Chaos Guardsmen?
Yes, he is.
The Chaos is starting to look much more
Appealing.
appetizing and appealing.
I have one more picture.
Welcome to the good side. We have cookies.
Turtle, I heard, loves me.
One more
Apparently
picture for
GW
you, real
doesn't.
quick, Freak, if you don't mind, and then we can wrap it up. We have where people have taken some very blotchy pictures. You know how GW hides like teasers in the background of their pictures and blurry pictures and stuff like that. Somebody has compiled a bunch of the teased pictures from of the new Rogel Dorn battle tank. It's like a wrecked version hiding in the back, and people have taken the different angles of it together and photoshopped together what we believe the new tank to look like from just reassembling these leaks. We have a picture of it right here. Somebody sent it to Morty and Glory. Morty and Glory, of course, shared it out.
What is while he's pulling that up, what is Terrain Starcraft?
Terrans in StarCraft, those are the human
Terran
space marines.
Starcraft. Ah, okay. That's another question. I had heard something about like naval guardsmen or something.
Yes,
Like
they
with
are.
the shields and stuff.
Yep. The Naval Breachers, they are a faction in Kill Team that have rules for 40K, and they have the Agents of the Imperium keyword, so they can be added to any Imperial army. They look awesome.
Okay.
Same thing with Rogue Trader Voidsman. They also have the Agents of the Imperial Army, and both of them basically kind of represent the people that run the ship, the big ass ships that the Imperial armies transport on. Kind of like in Star Trek, you can have the crew go down to the planet with your guardsmen or your they're very popular for Space Marines and custodians because they're like cheap bodies. You can
the naval breaches are the red shirts in Star Trek, the cannon fodder.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They're very popular for things like Space Marines and custodians to have a cheap squad that can sit on objectives.
Gotcha. But you can actually bring them with 40K list.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Freak, would you mind showing the Rogaldorn tank?
I already did.
Oh, I just must have missed it. My bad. What are your thoughts, Atlas, my man?
On the Rogaldorn?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really cool looking model. I can't wait to see like the real deal.
Is it up in the chat right now? I don't see it. Okay.
Or I don't think so, right?
Yeah, posted
Maybe
it.
I'm
That's
not.
what I used. That's what I used to post it on.
There it is. Okay, my bad. I just missed it. What do you think, Freak? That's your namesake there.
I'm not quite sure right now, but I mean, I'm curious to see how big that is. I mean, it looks like a fairly sizable tank.
Yeah, it's chunky. It's not.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be bigger than a Lehman Russ, like you saw the other day.
Yeah.
Not quite a Baneblade, so it's supposed to be considered the mid-grade tank.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Basilisks are good, but I went to guard for the tanks. Yeah, that's why I'm more tank than infantry. I showed up for the tanks. Mostly because Atlas gifted me a couple of Lehman Russ pieces of terrain, and I painted them, and I'm like, I need to paint more guard tanks now. Closing thoughts for the night, Brother Oni and Freak. I know I have just been chatting your heads off for the night. What are your thoughts, gents?
I almost feel sorry for Atlas. But, I mean, honestly, I am not at all surprised that GW would do this. I mean, we were just talking about how there's just no use to the Imperial Fists. I mean, I love my army. I will always love my yellow. Love them, love them, love them, love them. But I'll be honest with you, it's not really fun to play them.
Tell us a little bit about. I mean, I know you and I kind of talked at length about it yesterday. But
Hey! Just come to the chaos, man. Come to chaos. Yeah,
well, I mean, it's the thing. I mean, when you get to the point to where just about every army gets some kind of special ability, some kind of buff, some kind of their own rule book or their own codex. Hell, the Imperial Fist got their own just for like less than a year, and next thing you know, it's 9th edition and it's gone. It's like, yeah, you can use the same stuff. Oh, not anymore. Right.
So is your frustration just that? Because the Imperial Fists were a codex book. I don't have my own book. It's just the Codex Space Marines faction when you first started playing them. Is your preference now to be something that with its own codex, like the Dark Angels, Space Wolves? Blood Angels?
I mean, why the hell not? Because if you consider that the Imperial Fists were so, they were very much embedded with taking care of Terra. I mean, why the hell not? I mean, they were in lore altogether. In the meta, they have always been one of the up front and center, legions that defended Terra, and constructed fortifications. Hell, they were part of the boarding party to go and take on, to take on that in 30K. I mean, it's like. I'm just so disgusted. When it gets to the point to where it's like, okay, everybody's getting the toys, everybody's getting their little buffs, but they treat Imperial Fist like plain ass vanilla. Then again, I'll play them every now and then, but it's not enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? So it really isn't. There was very little that I could do, and that's what we were talking about in the game last night. Was like there was very little that I could do to kind of, offset half the crap that you threw at me. I don't have involves except for specific characters. I don't have a buff to give involves to everybody. That doesn't happen. So how is that fair? And we talk about orcs here. Orcs are supposed to be the most, winnable, winnable teams ever. So, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I just got shellacked by orcs. I mean, not shellac. I mean, owned. So it wasn't, it was just, it didn't make sense. It's just, I'm sitting there scratching my head. I'm thinking, okay, well, if this was real, would that really happen? Everything that I've, read and learned and loved about the Imperial Fists is that they're not chumps. They don't go down easy. It sure as hell went down easy to orcs. And it wasn't because I was having shitty rolls. Not overall. I mean, again, you and I were kind of sharing that, and that's where the balance went.
Yeah.
I even mentioned that. I said, you and I are having, I think the rolls were even for us.
Yeah.
But what really, really got us is that, you were able to take the same thing with Space Wolf. They can take specific, characters or to be able to buff a large portion of, of the army. And there's a lot of other armies that can do that. Imperial Fists are not that much far from Guard, except they get their ass blown by damn basilisks.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, well, we're in the same club there. It's for me. Is it enjoyable to play against other armies that have those special perks? That's like playing freaking Tau. For me, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, I just shot all this at you. Wait! I got involves for days. Roll. I can re-roll the involves, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's just like, okay, well, what about that guy? I'm going to shoot that guy. Okay, yeah, he gets involves too. All you SOBs get involves? Yeah. I'm packing my shit home. Screw that. It's not enjoyable. It's not, I don't see it balanced. And again, it's orcs.
To anyone listening, and if you're curious, when you call the wall on the first turn, you get a 5-up invul army wide, and then on the next turn, you get a 6-up invul army wide.
Army wide, baby.
And then the beast
not just one guy.
Anything with the beast snag keyword always gets a 6-up invul.
And so for me, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I really do believe that the orcs needed love. They've been needing love. They needed this. I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with where they are right now. I do not dispute that whatsoever. I do not want that taken away.
Right.
But hell's bells, man. Help a brother freaking out. Don't just, beef up the damn orcs. And then just leave the Imperial Fist, the Fist, or any of the other. Like, okay, well, you guys, yeah, you guys. But you know what, Imperial Fist? We're just gonna pee on your face. Great. Nothing like a little golden shower to go a long way. Maybe that's why we're yellow. It's frustrating. It really is. It's frustrating for me as a player. And it's like I've been searching around, and it's funny because I was even watching, Valric, he's playing 30K. It's like, go figure. He's painting up his 30K, man. I'm like, well, that tell you something.
Oh yeah, I heard. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a channel member for Morty and Glory, and he was mentioning that he messaged Valric with an offer for a game, and apparently Valric's like, "Oh yeah, sure, but I only play 30K now."
Yeah,
because he's also frustrated with the fists.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like Atlas is. I'm pretty much a loss for words when it comes. I don't know what else to say. I'm not angry. I just don't give a shit anymore. I really don't. That last game kind of really shine a light on how mismanaged, poor, and just unbalanced GW does shit. They mess with one thing, and they fix one thing and they screw something else up. And it's been an ongoing thing. Stop jacking with things. Do a very balanced. If you're going to increase this, increase it, in a balanced way. Don't just, do this. Okay, well, we're going to do this, And then in 6 months later, oh well, yeah, we'll do the Imperial Fist. Oh well, but in 2 months we're gonna have a new codex. That's the same shit that they did with us last time. You know,
that is one thing I worry about with the Guard Codex is, you know, if the rumors are true and sometime, you know, next fall or whatever.
10th edition will roll out. Oh well, yeah, at least you had a little bit of time.
What they did last year.
Last edition.
Last edition was we got ours right at the end, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, since
same
you
thing.
Just got it right at the end of this edition.
Yep,
y'all can have it last in the next edition."
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and you know, part of my frustration, I just don't feel, you know, like I want to continue to play a broken system. I really don't, you know, and that's why I'm looking more at the 30K, or you know, find something else that may have a little more, like my my Black Templars. I'd like to really consider that. Once I get them back, I'm thinking if I'm going to play. You know, I'm want to study them, and I want to see if those will work out.
Just bang the room up on the roof, only.
You know, Black Templars are, and that's another thing that got me. The freaking Imperial Fists were the predecessor of the Black Templars, but the Black Templars actually are ranked 45% in gameplay. What?
They are one of the highest ranking Space Marines right now.
But Imperial Fists are 24%.
They are the lowest ranking Space Marines right now.
So how in the hell does that make sense?
See, I would sympathize with you, but I'm not. Because I was a Chaos player before I switched over to Custodies. Since 9th edition started.
We've been offering to give you the loyalist buffs, man.
Since 9th edition started, every single Space Marine went up to two wounds, right?
Yep.
What about the Chaos Space Marines? When did they get their 2 wounds?
I agree with you. No.
Right?
Yeah, I get it. And guess what? 10th edition is going to roll right over, and we're probably going to get it taken away from you.
We offered you to play with 2 wounds. You were like, no.
I appreciated it, but I was like,
no. I get it. I get that point.
The way it's meant to be played. Don't give me no handicaps.
But you still a hell of. There's still a lot of stuff that you can do with your chaos.
Now I can.
And that is
damn thing I can do with my Imperial Fist.
That is another thing I wanted to offer. What if we use a lot of tournament players use the custom chapters, or we could try, after a cooldown period. I know right now you're burnt out on the fists, but maybe when you come back to them, we can try some of the custom chapters or running them with different chapter tactics. See if something fits your playstyle better. Like the Imperial or the Iron Hands chapter tactics seems like it would fit your playstyle real well.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna ice them for now, and then I'm gonna definitely try to get my 30K stuff going. And once I get my Black Templars, I really want to start looking into that.
Maybe a little green skin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Just for fun. I mean, I'd like to do that, but like I said, I mean, as it comes to loyalists, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at definitely doing 30K, and then Imperial Fist 30K, and Black Templars. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, it's just I'm at the point where I don't give a shit. I don't care anymore. I don't. I mean, I'm very apathetic about it. Especially with and it's the last 3 weeks of all these changes. 4 weeks approximately, and it's just I don't see anything. And then of course, the rumor of the 10th edition coming around, it's like everything starts right all over, everything gets effed up all over again, and then it goes, oh wait, we're gonna balance this shit one more time. Trust us, we got you.
What's changed in the last 4 weeks?
I'm talking about all the
The Votan stuff?
Yeah. I mean, it's just more and more the new armies, you know. Again, like the changes here that they're doing with Guard, you know, it's like all those changes that they're doing, and it's not really, I don't know. It's not uniform. I've always been the kind of person who believes what you do for one, you do for others. What we do for others, right? So you want to be consistent across the board. I'm not asking to have the exact same. I'm not asking to have, if you can have this, then we need to have this. I'm not asking for that. But give us a freaking fighting chance, Make it match the meta. Make it match what's in the freaking books, Make it make sense. Because right now it really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. And that's the big,
I know. I feel you. Everybody's getting Armor of Contempt, Super Custodies. We don't get the minus.
When's the last time one of your models died?
Ask Atlas.
I killed, 2 or 3?
He's killed 2 squads.
There you go. Cost my entire army down to the man.
I went that way too. I mean, and I outlasted both of y'all in our first games, but it's just like
surprisingly, yeah.
The most important thing is I survived until round 5.
Yeah, I dug it.
I survived until round 2.
It's not a game of if you can beat the custodies.
No, it's if you can hang in there till
how long can you survive?
Right.
And I had one model escape that battlefield.
It's definitely like, riding a bull, See how much time you got on that baby.
Oh God.
But yeah, I mean, one of the things I was going to ask Atlas is that, okay, so far what you've heard, all the changes and all that, would you consider any of that showstoppers?
So here's my problem with 40K in general. And I think Methos could vouch for this. I have never played the what's popular.
Right.
I have always looked at the rule book and said, this looks fun.
Yeah.
I am going to base the entire army off of this.
Right.
And 1, 2, 3... what's now 4 times, in my opinion, I have built an entire army around a strategy and just had all of it completely nerfed.
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I'm sick of putting money into it.
Yeah.
Because it gets to the point that an army gets nerfed so hard that it's unfun to play.
Yeah.
So, like, the very first one, I would say would be the zombies. I had a lot of fun playing those zombies. I've only got to play it once.
Yep.
I played it once against you, and the very next week they completely nerfed it where I could not do it at all.
Yep.
I was like, okay, so basically this entire army's gone.
Right. Instead of doing a little bit,
I had 150 zombie models.
Yeah. Instead of nerfing them a little bit, just kind of toning them down. No, they just say, "Oh no, yo."
So I was like, okay, you know what? I give up on that army entirely. I'm going to work on this because I don't want to play it how everyone else was playing Death Guard.
Right.
I was enjoying playing the way I played it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, you know what? The thing I enjoyed playing the most was Guard. I want to go back to Guard. And I looked through it, saw some really cool kind of knight looking stuff, and I was like, you know what? No one's doing a close combat Guard army. I want to do that. In Methos, I think I played against you twice with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got
2 or
nerfed.
3 times.
Yeah. Right after that,
they did really well.
And they got nerfed to the point that it was basically pointless to play them.
Right.
And I was like, okay,
when
scrap all those models.
Changed the rules for storm shields.
Yeah. So, and they weren't doing good. Like, I never won against you, I don't think. I think I tied against you once and lost twice.
No, you beat me once.
I did beat you once.
Mm-hmm.
Point was, I was by no stretch of the imagination like game breaking, and they nerfed it completely.
Right.
So it was like, okay, I guess let's change it completely. And finally, they gave us something that was good. Guard has never been a high tier playing army. We get lucky sometimes if y'all roll poor enough. But
I'm your man.
Other than that, I wouldn't say Guard is extremely competitive, even whenever you're bringing the competitive lists. So whenever they come out with stuff that's actually really good, like, let's take this new codex, for example. I've been hyped about a codex coming out. I've been hyped about it. I've been looking forward to this for a year now. And now I don't want it to come out. Because I honestly feel like because they've come out with all these new models, they're just wanting to sell models. Well, the new Rogel Dorn's out. Let's put out a crap ton of tank orders and tank buffs. That way more people will buy the Rogel Dorn stuff. Let's put out new heavy weapons, new special weapon orders.
You want to know something crazy? And this is I'm trying to find it right now because it made me nauseous to see when it was actually being when I was looking at it and watching it. So the Imperial Fist ranked 24 in win rates overall, okay, in the tournament scene. And the only reason why it showed such a small amount was because nobody was playing them.
Yeah.
They really couldn't get a good sample of tournament players to actually play them. Go figure. But for the amounts that they've used, that they were able to sample, win rates were only 24%. The Guard were close to 50%.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like my Imperial Fists are 24% win rate, and the Guards are almost 50. It's like, how the hell? Why do I want to play a game? And you know what's Methos actually had experienced the same exact thing when it came down to his damn to his Space Wolves. The same thing. There was an incident where they were strong in 7th edition. They were tearing ass in 7th edition. And I'll be honest with you, it was fun. Even though I'd get my ass whooped, it was still fun. I enjoyed playing against them. And Methos was having a good time. Here comes 8th edition. I think you might have played them twice the entire edition.
No, I loved playing 8th edition. 8th is my favorite edition.
Which one? No. When it first came out, it was at 9th? What happened? Oh, yeah. When it did switch to 9th. Because you got to the point to where you're like, you said it on this channel, it's not fun to play anymore. Why? Why is it fun to play anything that's broken? That's why.
I have fun.
Again, it's not about being salty. It's just like it's finally getting a bird's eye view of what's the overall picture, what we're seeing, and it is frustrating. Like I said, I'm not gonna go out and sell my Imperial Fist, but I just don't think that it's worth putting any time in them right now, and until we really start seeing some stuff going on. So I mean, and you're seeing it. The whole community is doing it. The whole community is saying the same thing. And now they're gonna try to get Guard to do the same thing. Guard players are just like, screw you. We'll play something else. And it's just sad. It really is.
Guard players are getting a lot of buffs. It's just the particular play style.
The style, I know, I understand that. Yeah, and again, I don't think they're gonna lose their I don't think they'll lose their spot in the tournament either. So in a tournament scene, it's just I don't see any reason for it. Again, it doesn't make sense. So I think I'll digress on that because it's just a moot point now. But like I said, there's plenty of other armies, other stuff that I can do, you know, and I still enjoy painting, so that's fun, you know. So, yeah, it is what it is.
I really enjoy our paint nights together.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to get back on a better note, I do think the Guard Codex overall might be good. I think it's just going to be playstyle. It was like shifting from 8th edition to 9th edition.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Guard was in 8th edition, a very castle-heavy army. You know, we were specifically castle up and try to shoot them before they get to us. 9th edition rolled around and everything changed. We had to be a close combat army as much as possible. Otherwise, we just lose because you have to get those objectives.
Yeah, it was everything.
And this is a shift again. This is like, all right, Guard troops were getting pretty good. Let's shift it completely again. Let's now we are going to do infantry. And you even noticed it because before there was literally no stratagems, no nothing that helped vehicles secure objectives. It was like the one thing that kept them from you having to bring troops. You had to bring troops to score objectives. Now they're giving us a lot of ability to turn those vehicles into objective secured. A super heavy now counts as 10 troops on an objective. Bring more vehicles. Bring more vehicles. And I think as long as you're bringing vehicles, you're going to be competitive still. If not even more competitive. I think just for my particular play style, it kind of broke it.
I feel like there's a lot of the orders, especially if you can combine Perfectus orders and regular orders. I think there's a lot of support for infantry too, just not in the style that you're accustomed to.
I could agree with that. If you're bringing a lot of heavy weapons and special weapons, you mean?
Or just in general, there's a lot of stuff to move and take objectives and stuff like that. And being able to do things, I mean, because even the stuff that helps heavy weapons, now when you're rapid firing heavy weapons, you know, that's going to affect lasguns too. So I think there's a lot of stuff for supporting those weapons, just not in the style that you're accustomed to.
I could agree. I'll have to see the codex before I can actually probably change my mind on this.
Sure.
Just reading through it once or twice now. I haven't read much I liked versus disliked.
I mean, even with all the points still staying about 60 points for an infantry unit, I don't think there's much that you can do to really change 120 bodies on the field being bad for objective grabbing and winning a game. That's still a lot to mow through.
Besides for taking away 1/4 of their shots. A quarter of their rounds being taken away. It's pretty tough.
Again, what I'm saying is very few armies can efficiently remove 120 bodies from objective.
Yeah. Going back on my games, though, let's say, once again, all this digresses down to my play style. My play style will have to change, period. If I'm going to even want to play in what I assume is going to be 10th edition. One thing we didn't cover at all was the formation aspect that they kind of talked about. I don't think we talked about that at all.
Yeah, there's a brief mention of the not battalion, what's it called?
Platoons.
Platoons coming back.
Yeah.
And so that's yeah, like I said, there's a lot of support for infantry in this new book. They haven't gone over the specifics, but there is ways that you're going to be able to run a formation called a platoon that's going to let you get more infantry bodies in a single detachment than having to take multiple detachments. So
go ahead.
So there is a whole system in place for getting in more bodies for people who like playing the full infantry style.
Assuming you want to pay for more bodies.
You're saying, Freak?
No, I was gonna say right now I've got on the page the actual faction win rate, and it's pretty trippy. starting from the lowest to the greatest. The lowest is 39%. That's the recordable. Anything below that, they really don't give a shit. So of course, 39% Adeptus Astartes, Adeptus Mechanicus is 39%, Dark Angels 45%, Astra Militarum 45%, Space Wolves 45%, Grey Knights 46%, Gene Stealer Cult 47%, Death Guard. And let's just only let's do only loyal here. Blood Angels 48%. Just for kicks and giggles, I'll throw Orcs in there because that's what we play all the time. 49%. They're basically 50% win rate. Right next to the Tau. Which I think it's mind-blowing. The Orcs and the Tau are almost tied in win rate. Then you got Chaos Space Marines, Ikari, the Imperial Knights, of course, you know that they're still strong. The Custodes are 53%. Necrons to 54%, Adeptus Sororitas is 54%. And then so on and so forth, you know, and we know the rest. The highest win rate right now, faction are the Tyranids. Tyranids and Harlequins at 58% and 59%. What you're not seeing here are everything else. The lowest ends are way below the 39% that they either lack the amount of players or that's just the only thing that they were able to get. So again, it's definitely skewed. It's a skewed, and I'm not sure what GW is doing, why they're doing it, but you know, this is their website. This is their information. You know, that's kind of like the place that I work at. You know, they go on and on and say, "Hey, we hear you. We hear you. We're going to help you out." Nothing happens. You know, so
All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys. If you liked tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up the axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. If you're watching from the archives, feel free to drop us some comments down in the description below, and feel free to be part of any of these soul-crushing conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to, not even us, if you're just not subscribed to our friends down in the description, then we'd really appreciate you giving them a like and a follow.
Yeah, they're
Until
actually,
next time,
they're
guys,
actually good.
make sure that you stay frosty.